Good morning. Today is the 18th of September 2021, and I am really excited because today is a historic day. My name is Jeff Letts. I'm the CEO of Genistar, and today is our very first broadcast, or what we call a fast start school. And it's designed not only for our current associates that have already joined, already active in the business, or just getting involved, but it's also for guests just to kind of come, get some education, check us out. But what I'm really excited about is today is our very first time that we're doing this live from our studio here in London at our offices. And so we want to welcome all of you, those of you that are guests today, welcome. If this is your very first time, I hope that you just kind of sit back. You might want to grab a notebook and a pen and just kind of take some notes. And so today is going to be a combination of really some announcements, some recognition for the second quarter of 2021. And all of us, of course, are just now coming out of lockdown. I understand that just today was just announced that travel restrictions are starting to free up, and we're starting to get back to a little bit of normality after these over 18 months of really being in lockdown and just everybody kind of in a little bit of a pressure cooker, if you will. But today is really about you, and it's really about empowering every one of you that if you have the desire to build a business, if you have the desire to better your life, do more for your family, help others, I think that you're going to absolutely love today. One of the things that has kept me in this business now for some 4 decades is that of the mission of being able to help empower people. I know that I was just having breakfast this morning with my wife, and she and I were just talking about how that, she and I both came from a very poor background. And it just, poverty, I think y'all would agree that poverty just sucks. I mean, there's nothing good that really can come out of poverty. And so one of the things that I love about what we do is that we are really able to help to change people's destinies when it comes to their financial lives, not only in building a business, but also just in empowering them to get the right education and to really be able to do the right things with their money. It's amazing. We go through over 14,000 hours of education in school, and yet we learn very little, if anything, about money. And so today we're recognizing a bunch of our top leaders, and they're going to be giving you the top tools, tips, and techniques for how that they were able to go from first looking at our business, just like maybe some of you here today, to really becoming one of our top people. And again, I think what you'll be able to see here today on display, if you will, is the diversity. And that's, again, one of the things that I love about our business model and our culture is that it is a level playing field. It doesn't matter what your age is, your color, your sex, your religion, none of that stuff has anything to do, in my opinion, okay, shouldn't have anything to do with what we're actually going to be able to pay you. But if you've got fire in your belly and you want to be somebody, then I think that you're going to love Genistar. So we're actually going to be kicking this off today with a little bit of recognition, and we're going to be talking to you a little bit about some of the people. In fact, if you joined us about 15 minutes before we kicked off, you would have seen sort of a scroll there where it went through what we call the go-getters for the second quarter of 2021. And congratulations to all of you that your names were on there. We used to have such a small company, we could go through all of that recognition in every single school, but we're just not able to do that. And hopefully you guys, as your teams are getting back together, you guys can obviously get some recognition on that as far as a go-getter. But what I'd like to do is just kind of jump right in now into our recognition and in what we call the incentive awards. And part of the incentive awards, we have something called go-getters. In fact, there's a book that was actually, the author's surname is Kyne, K-Y-N-E, And by the way, if you want a copy of it, we can actually get you a copy of that book. It's an ebook. We're happy to send it out to anybody that registered for this seminar. We'll make, now that we've got your email, we're happy to send you a copy of that. It's just a great story about someone that went above and beyond the call of duty. They just went out there and went and, I don't want to say ran the 4-minute mile, but they certainly went out there and did something special. And then we have another one called the Blue Vase Award, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So here are the Blue Vase guidelines, which is you qualify as a go-getter for 3 consecutive months. So to become a go-getter, you have to get 3 personal new associates in the business yourself, plus 1,500 pounds of business when it comes to protection cover for a client. Okay, and so this is someone that goes and does that 3 months in a row. So they're showing consistency. They're showing that they know what to do. It's not just a fluke that they did it as a one-off. One-off is great, but we've got people we're going to be recognizing here today that have literally done this for 6 months in a row, 9 months in a row, 12 months in a row, and that's really how to build a business, of course, is on a consistent basis. And for that, you actually get a beautiful, elegant, personally engraved vase, and the very first ones here that we're recognizing for the second quarter is Caroline Buffy and Amando Brown. So I know we can't hear all of you, but you guys are welcome to give everybody a big clap there. And congratulations, Caroline and Amando. And you guys, again, this is such a great start to your career here at Genistar. Then we also introduced back in August, we introduced something where that we said that when you submit your independent business agreement, that's kind of the long word, we use the acronym IBA, Independent Business Agreement, that if you submitted that and you get to team leader, which is basically what the go-getter guidelines are, so that's 3 personal recruits, 3 personal associates that you've personally recruited during that 90 days, whereas the go-getter, you have to do it in 30 days, okay? But you could get, anytime during that 90-day, you get 3 personal recruits, and then you also submit 1,500 pounds of business in 1 calendar month, then you would get promoted to team leader. And what we've done is we've said we'll give you 140 pounds bonus. And when we announced that in August, we backdated it, and we said even anybody that had submitted it 90 days before that announcement. So that was pretty good. And you'll be seeing here today where we had some great, just some real effort of a lot of people that really got to work. And we've continued that now, and that's good up until the 6th of October on that bonus. So if you've come in the business in the last 90 days, or you're a brand new person, and you want to get into the business, make sure you get that done before the 6th of October or sooner, and then you'll have 90 days to be able to qualify to get that 140-pound bonus. So let's take a look here. Now, here's what's interesting is that we have not only in the first column is the individual's personal name, but also the number of days that it took them to become a team leader. And then, of course, they get the 140-pound bonus. And this money is already in your account if your name is on here, okay? So it's not something that we delay paying out. It's something that as soon as you fully qualify for it, we pay it. So I'm just going to kind of go through the first name here. And excuse me if I'm mispronunciating anybody's name here. Chinwe Iris Obiora OG, congratulations. Downline from EVP Bevan went, look at this, guys, 17 days, a little over 2.5 weeks from the time that they submitted their independent business agreement. And they said to Coach Bevan went, they said, Coach, tell me what to do. And they went to work and they were coachable, and in 17 days. So guys, this is very achievable, okay? And so congratulations, Chinwe. We want to get you sometime to kind of come on the show and talk to us about how you did that. And let's see now you go become a go-getter and a Blue Vase winner. Next, Justine Cho, 34 days again downline from Bevan Wint. Congratulations, Bevan! Such great coaching that you're doing with your team. You've got promotions in motion. And then Kimberly Mabele Canezel under Norman Sita Enoch, Karen Ann Guarino. Again, took both of these people. I'm excited that we got so many ladies that are doing so well in the business. And 35 days under Roderick Kayabyab. Proud of you guys, Roderick. Another one downline from Bevan Wint, Austin Nawaz. Let me try one more time. Nawawuze. Okay. So Austin, my apologies. Okay. How about if I just say Austin Powers, because you're powerful, okay? It took 36 days downline from Bevan Wint. Uzoma Onayekwer, 42 days downline from Justina and Christopher Elachi. Henry Baldilomar Frias, it took 43 days. Again, congratulations downline from Gloria Meje. Congratulations, Gloria. That's downline from Frank Egarudu and NSD Steve Obridge. What a great job. Congratulations. And then we've got Gina Matias, 45 days. Dolly Bright is her upline EVP. Anita Dwa, Justina, and Christopher Alachi. Again, you guys got promotions in motion. That's fantastic. Devahar. This one's going to be, you're going to have to teach me when we meet, you're going to have to teach me how to say your name, but I'll attempt it here. Nana Sakaran, okay? 70 days downline from Sylvia Kundrith. Carolee Campbell Thomas, 71 days. Again, Bevan Wint, man, Bevan, promotions in motion. Poonam Siwugulam, downline from Sylvia Kundrith, 73 days. Elizabeth Anyan, 75 days in Steve Obridge's base shop. And then Rhoda Parker Wilson, just congratulations, Rhoda. I mean, doesn't matter whether it was 17 days or 90 days, but just got in under the wire, 86 days. Again, another one downline from Justina and Christopher Elachi. So congratulations to all of you on the 140-pound bonus. Many of you paid the 140, and of course now you're getting the bonus back. Some of you have gotten in on the 70 pounds IBA, which we still have until the 6th of October, and you're still going to be able to get 140 back, which is double the money. We also have something called the Go-Getters Bonus. And what this is in addition to the Go-Getters recognition, in addition to the Blue Vase winner, is if you become a Go-Getter 9 months in a row, we'll give you a 250-pound bonus. That's on top of all the commissions you get, on top of all the other awards that you get. But again, what we're doing is we're rewarding consistency in Joyce Agbor, who is just unbelievable, guys. I mean, she is just killing it, and you guys are going to get to hear from Joyce today. We also have a 500-pound bonus, so you could get the 250 for that one. Then the Go-Getters bonus qualification is over 12 months. So you do it 12 months in a row. That's 3 personal recruits every month, plus 1,500 pounds in Vitality Business submitted, okay, and have acceptable persistency. That means good, not just the volume, but also the quality of business. And you get a 500-pound bonus. Congratulations to Linda Berry Adjukatse, okay? Congratulations. Again, I love the fact that we got so many women, so many ladies that are just doing so well in our business. So congratulations, Linda. Really, really proud of you. So now we're going to go to Mark Ketchik, our managing director, is with us. So good morning, Mark.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great morning.
Yeah, it's great to see you.
And you, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's good to be here in the studio also. It's
real people.
Real people, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Virtual people.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We're starting to get back in the flow of things, aren't we?
Most definitely, yeah. It's been listen, there's been some tough times, haven't they, over the last 18 months, but it just feels like people have gone away over August. A lot of the people just went away,
Yeah.
wound down a bit, and now we're back into September. September, then the people are running strong for this Genesis Bar contest.
Yes.
And then we know October, we're going to go strong and finish strong for the final quarter.
Yeah. Our business kind of cycle, if we take a look graphically at it, it normally kind of goes in cycles.
Yeah.
August is typically, everybody goes on holiday anyhow.
August is paying out July's pipeline.
That's right. Yeah.
Nobody works in August. Well,
Yeah.
some people do. Bevan obviously does.
Yeah, that's right. But you know, people were in lockdown. I know you and Hannah, you guys got 4 beautiful children, and she was homeschooling them, and now the kids are starting to get back in school, and so we're starting to get back to some form of normality, aren't we?
Yeah, the kids are back to school. Yeah, they're giving them tests and stuff. But I mean, it's good. Everyone's just getting back in the routine. Even here in the office, which is great to be hosting it from here. We've got the people coming back in the office, coming in, and it's just, you get so much more hanging out with people than you do virtually. And then it's so funny. You've got people now that they used to just Teams you or they message you, and it's just like, no, we're in the office. Come downstairs, come sit with me. Let's have a discussion.
Yeah.
And you get a bunch of people in the room, and they bounce off of each other. The synergy. Like when we had the steering committee the other week, we got to hang out with everyone, and so much more comes from being together than just being on a Zoom call or a Teams call, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And team, it's amazing how that you look at other businesses. I was in a pub the other day. Said 3 pubs a day in the UK are just closing them and just locking the doors, boarding the building up, bankrupt. Loads of businesses that through this last 18 months have just kind of shuttered the windows and doors and said, we're done.
Well, they've had to. There's no choice, was there?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, our business, Art Williams, who was the original CEO in Primerica in the U.S., he used to say, in good times, our business is good. In bad times, our business is incredible. Because it has so much to do, as you're going to hear today from all of our speakers, has so much to do with the mentals, the fundamentals, the mentals and how you think and your activity and the discipline that you actually have with it. So Mark, here, we're getting ready to go into the 4th quarter.
Yep.
We're in the middle, well, a little bit beyond, well, actually the middle of September, because our month end is not till the 6th of October.
Correct.
And I think what a lot of people do is they say, well, I'll wait till October. I'll just kind of go ahead and goof off the next couple weeks. But boy, then I'm really going to hit it in October, November, December. But they got to remember that Christmas is coming up, and kind of from about the 18th of December, people kind of start shutting things down a little bit for Christmas and going out of town. And so today's the 18th of September, so we've really got 90 days. So I'd like to suggest for our final quarter, we almost magically in our minds say that today, the 18th of September, is really our 90-day push for the end of the year.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And the whole point of today, we have some of the top people from each and every area of our business that are going to talk to you and really just get you fired up and explain how they got to where they got to. And they're no different to each and every one of you. We're all just humans, aren't we, Jeff?
Absolutely, absolutely. And to everybody out there, I want to say, whether you're a new person joining us today or whether you're a seasoned person with us, a founder that started with us in 2007 when we originally set the company up 14 years ago, it's a new season. It's a new day. And if people ever needed our help when it comes to what I always call a PhD, proper honest direction with their finances, boy, people really need us today. And I think one of the things, Mark, that the pandemic did is I think it really woke people up about the fact of the state of their finances and that I need to get a secondary income, another source of income where I can make 1,000 or 2,000 pounds a month or 500 pounds a month. Sometimes maybe we don't celebrate as much as what we should, the person that makes an extra 200, 300, 400 a month, because we got loads of people like that. I mean, just our bonuses that we're just paying out.
We just paid out how many, like 20 or 140 pound bonuses for people that just got in the business.
That's right. It's a big deal.
Yeah,
it really is. Yeah.
I mean,
So I want to encourage all of you as we go into our second quarter, be encouraged. Don't allow, one of my favorite sayings is, don't allow your history to become your destiny. So if you've been in Genistar for a while, you've not been super active, okay, maybe some of the changes, that have gone on in the company, okay, you just kind of go, it's sort of overwhelmed me. Well, guys, this is a new day. It's a new season, and I want to encourage you that in Genistar, the best is yet to come, okay? We got great things planned for the future. We got some great announcements that we're going to be making over the coming weeks and months, and be encouraged on where we're going. So, Mark, by the way, guys, today, just to mention again, in case you were late joining us, this is our very first time that we're doing this live in our studio. We had one that we did in another studio, but this is right here in our own offices. You can't see them, but we got this beautiful staff back here, okay? We've got some incredible leaders back here that have got a soundboard and cameras and everything else. I mean, this looks like a regular TV studio here, Mark.
Yeah. I feel like we're on, transfer deadline day on, Sky Sports when they got the studio. That's what it feels like. It's just all the lights, all the cameras, everything. Yeah. But it's exciting. It's just showing like where we came from. Remember our first event over just off of Tottenham Court Road, and we started off there and where we've come to. It's been an amazing journey, but what I'm really looking forward to, all these people they're going to push hard for this final quarter, is next year the actual convention, actually meeting everyone, shaking hands, high-fiving them on the stage, doing the different classes. I'm really looking forward to just getting out there, hanging out with people. Again, Genistar on the 27th to the 30th of October. Yeah. Really looking forward to hanging out with the guys, and it's just going to be so great because it's been so long.
That's right. Mark, let's talk a little bit, because we've got some time here. Let's talk a little bit about the Genistar, because I think it's really exciting. Some people have kind of given up on maybe winning the 500-pound bonus, but we just announced last week that they could do half the numbers.
Correct.
Okay, so if you don't know what those numbers are, make sure that you see your vice president, because we still got 3 weeks.
Yeah, and seriously, personally, if somebody does 5 recruits and £5,000 in the premium, they're going to get a £250 bonus. That's whether or not you booked or you didn't book, you'll still get the bonus.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's just personal, and anyone can do that. I mean, how many days have we got left? We've got, what, 20 days left? Something along those lines. And honestly, anyone who has the mental discipline can go and do that.
Yeah. Well, look at one of the people that went to team leader in 17 days. So somebody can be a brand new person today, get to team leader. Maybe not. I mean, they could win the contest, but and get another bonus. But they certainly could get to team leader by the 1st of October. So.
Okay. Yeah. And but there's each and every person can qualify it personally as well. They don't just have to qualify as a team leader and that. So you can take control of it. You don't have to be dependent on your team, do you?
That's exactly. So 5 personal recruits, and we've had people do 20 recruits in a month, okay, personally. And so 5 personal recruits, and you're probably talking, what, maybe six personal clients, couples?
Yeah, if you're in the 5-star market,
no
reason why not?
Absolutely.
And people have already got numbers on the boards as well.
Yeah. Now, for those of you that have registered for the Genistar, I've got an announcement today, okay, that what we're going to be doing is we only had 100 spots, so 100 couples, sold out, guys. I mean, it's just totally sold out, so not even any more spaces left, okay? But what we're going to be doing is in the evening, so this is on the 27th, 28th, 29th, we're going to broadcast that live on our Genistar Facebook page. So that means it's going to be able to go, so you're going to be able to enjoy all of the talks and the announcements, okay? You'll be able to enjoy all the talks and the announcements that you're actually going to be getting live from the Genistar conference that we've got with over a couple hundred people. So each evening we've got a dinner, and then the first evening I'll be giving a keynote speech and making some announcements there. The second night, it's looking like, okay, I don't want to make any promises, but it's looking like that we'll actually be launching for Genistar, okay, the travel company where you will actually be able to introduce travel to one of the top firms here in the country, as well as your own personal travel, get paid on it, and guys, have access to some special deals through the travel agency. And the people will be there that evening. We'll be signing the actual contract that night. It's going to be a historic evening. And then the third evening, which will be the Friday night, we've got several things going on. One will be that Vitality will be with us. Some of the top people with Vitality. We're signing, we've been with them now for 10 years, and we'll be signing a brand new contract for a 10-year commitment. And there's some things that they're committing to us with, some uplift and some commissions, okay? So look for some announcement on that over the coming months, okay? But that evening is when we plan to sign that. In addition to that evening, we're going to be celebrating my 65th birthday, and Steve Jenkins is going to be heading up. I think it's called Take the Mick Out of Jeff, or the American version is a roasting. And then one of the things I'm really excited about is that evening we're actually going to be doing a charity auction. You'll be seeing more of this as we over the next month. But there's a charity that's near and dear to my heart. If you've never read, if you've never read my book, Against All Odds, The Remarkable True Story of How a Street Kid Became a Millionaire, I want to encourage you to read it, not just because it's my book, but you can get a copy here at the Field Support Center, or you can get it online at Amazon. But in here, it tells my story about how as a teenager, I lived for a couple of years on the streets of Chicago. And so I've got a real soft spot in my heart for kids, especially that are living on the street. And what I plan to do is that evening we're going to be doing a charity auction, and even the people that watching it, you can bid also, okay? And 100% of the money that we raise is going to be going to Centerpoint, which is a Prince's Trust charity that supports and helps kids and young people, young adults, to get off the streets and really get their lives together. Our goal is to raise £10,000, and then I'm going to match personally, that's not even the company, but personally I'm going to match that, and we'd love to be able to write a check to Centerpoint. They'll have one of their representatives there with us that evening. And then after all of that, it'd be a beautiful, a 3-course meal, the auction, the Take the Mick Out of Jeff, okay, as well as the signing of the contract with Vitality, the charity auction, and then we have a DJ there with dinner and a dance. And also what's exciting, if I can get Mark back in here, what's really exciting, Mark, is that we're also going to have pictures. Okay, we've got a photographer coming in that evening before the dinner on that Friday evening for all of our guests that will be there to get a picture with you and Hannah, with Margot and myself, and the couples, as well as I know that they're all going to want some team pictures. Okay, and we're going to have we announced yet?
No, I was wondering that where are you going with that, because we haven't announced to all of the field what's happening. We've told the EVPs, and I know some of them may have let it slip, about a really, really exciting incentive trip that we are going to announce on that live stream that night. But I was just wondering if you were actually going to announce it right here, right now.
I'll tell you what I'd like to do, and I know that Jerry might kind of freak out about this because he's kind of helping us here in the studio, Jerry Curd. But Jerry, could we get one of the animals? It's very dangerous, so please be careful with it. If we could get one of each, one for me and one for Mark.
Can I have the manly one, please?
Yeah. The other, that's it. They're really dangerous. So please, guys, if blood scares you, you might not want to see this, okay? But here's what we're planning to do is we're going to be announcing on that Friday night, the 21st. Not that we're going to have stuffed animals, but we're going to be having, a contest that we'll be announcing that night live on the 29th, that we're going to be having a safari and a trip to South Africa.
Yeah, and that's in conjunction with Vitality, because obviously this is all part of the contract we're signing with them, and it's a long-term 10-year contract. And they want to take us back to where their origins, where they came from with Discovery. And then beyond that, we're going to go to the Discovery offices. And you've already been there, haven't you?
Yeah, I went there a few years ago.
So we're going to be taken there, and then after that, they're going to take us out on safari for a few days and just have a blast. And I mean, the guys are going to be there on the Friday night from Vitality, and they've hosted people to this before, and they're really, really looking forward to it. I mean, they were talking to some of the people at the steering committee about it as well, because one of the senior people from Vitality came and had dinner with us. And it's just going to be such great fun. And I've never been there. I've never been on safari. I'm excited, a little bit scared, but excited.
Yeah.
I mean, you see all these open jeeps and these wild animals, and it's like, really? How?
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be an awesome trip, and one of those once of a lifetime trips. Isn't it?
It is, absolutely. It's going to be historic, just like a few years ago when we took a group of people over to America to meet Art Williams.
That was fantastic.
And it was incredible. It was a historical time in the life of Genistar. So guys, this is another reason to really get busy now, okay? See, you could be a brand new person today as a guest, and you're going, I don't understand what they're talking about, but literally, how'd you like to go with us on a safari, okay? And go to South Africa. And guys, it is going to be a fantastic trip. We'll have more details on the 29th, where we'll be announcing that live from Genispa. And so it's going to be very exciting, Mark.
Yeah, and then another thing I wanted to talk about is, in these last 9 months, we've taken the EVPs, along with our director, business solutions director, Elaine Parks. We've really taken them on this journey, and we've uplifted the technical knowledge of all of our EVPs. So there's just going to be the final quarter. I mean, that they've got all this knowledge now they're going to apply it. And we've got some. Are you all right if I share about the AI?
Sure, absolutely. I think it's very exciting.
Yeah, we've got some. So at the moment, all of you that have currently written business, you will know that you upload your SOP and then you have to type it all in. You know, this is Vitality Life, Optimizer, this, that, the other, and then you type all these prices. Well, 80% of the file checking rejections come from that. Well, we've got artificial intelligence being launched before the end of this month that will do that all for you, so you'll never have to do that again. And then eventually we're going to phase in where the EVPs are going to even be able to hit the submit button themselves. So we just do it step by step. We'll get in there, but we're getting more and more automated, more and more streamlined, and we're getting leverage so that we can just go take off and take it to the next level and dominate this industry. Because this year's the year of development, but next year is going to be the year of growth and domination.
Yeah, you know, you and Elaine and I are all meeting with Vitality to really put together our 10-year plan that goes along with the signing of this new contract.
Yes.
And what's really exciting, guys, you know, is if you think about this, nobody else does what we do.
Yeah, and nobody understands it either.
Nobody really cares about the little guy. You know, yeah, you can go to online, you can buy insurance, you can, you know, go pay thousands of pounds for seminars on financial education. But Mark, I don't know anybody that wants to take, you know, Wall Street to Main Street.
100%.
And really be able to help people that are just average, ordinary, common people.
Yep.
Educate them to really become financially independent. Mark's got on a shirt here, and on the right side of his shirt it says 1,000 plus millionaires. And where this came from is someone asked me if, you know, I became a millionaire at age 31. I became a multimillionaire at age 40. And they said, Jeff, would you like to be a billionaire? And I thought about it, and I thought to myself, you know, I don't really know what else I would do. I mean, you know, Margot and I, again, were chatting this morning about how that we love to give. We love to give to charities and our church and other things that are close to our heart. So when people say, oh, you know, people that have money are just a bunch of greedy people. No, when you have more, you can give more. When you have more, you can do more. And so I said, if we had 1,000 millionaires that we created, that would be $1 billion. Boy, that would be a legacy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, by default, if you go create that, you'll probably be worth a fair chunk of change too, won't
Absolutely.
you?
It's a beautiful business because if I help you win, I win too.
Well, we're all in this together, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the great thing. It's like one big happy family.
That's right.
Or sometimes dysfunctional,
Yeah.
but yeah.
You know, Mark, a couple years ago, I met a guy by the name of Gareth Morgan. And Gareth has become such a good friend, not only to me, but really to you and to the entire company. And Gareth always had a vision of coaching people and really helping people to just go be the best that they could be.
Yeah.
And for the last year and a half, Gareth has been working with us. He came into Genistar, not as a rep, but just to study us. He's been around for 7-8 years since I've known him. And really got to understand the ethos of what we do. He was on the cruise with us a couple years ago.
Good fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had 300-400 people on that trip with us. Yeah. And Gareth loves Genistar. He loves what we do. And so we've asked Gareth to come with us today and to really talk to us about how to manage change. Because guys, as we go into this new season, okay, you know, there's a saying that says, if you're only going to do what you've been doing, then you're only going to get what you've got. And so if you want more, if I want more, that means I need to go become a bigger person. And Gareth Morgan is such a great coach. I've used him personally. I've used him in our company. And I'd like for you all just to kind of sit back. I hope you got your notebooks. I know he's going to have a great, message for us today. And if I can turn this over to Gareth. Gareth, are you with us? Hey, Gareth, you're looking good.
Can do these days. They lie, don't they?
Yeah, they do a great touch-up job on all of us, don't they?
In this AI business. Yeah, they do.
Well, Gareth, listen, we love you and we love your family, and you guys are just so special. You have become, one of my best friends, one of my mentors. And let me just kind of turn the program over to you now and talk to us and give us some coaching. I've got my notebook out.
Oh, fantastic, Jeff. And likewise, our friendship is so important to me and Mark as well. It's great. Genistar really is a family. And I know that our family have experienced that, both Leanne and I and my children. And so it's an absolute pleasure and privilege to be speaking with the wider family. And I guess there are people on this call right now, on this broadcast, who are maybe thinking of getting on board with what Genistar is about. And I am so pleased that you are joining us too. And what I want to talk about today in the few minutes that I have with you is about finishing the year strong. I mean, can you believe it? 2021 only feels like it arrived yesterday, and yet we're already talking about how we're going to end it. Finishing strong. Like, how do you want to end this year? Whether you're in Genistar yet or not, whether you're new to Genistar or you've been in Genistar since day one. How do you want to finish this year? And it's as simple as a decision. You may say, but Gareth, there are lots of circumstances that are outside of my control. There are lots of things that can happen to me. There are lots of things that can happen in the world. You've experienced that in 18 months. But actually, it's a decision that we make. And it's a decision then that we consistently make. I was watching last night on Netflix. I was watching one of the Untold series. I don't know if any of you have been watching or seen any of those. And I've got to know about some of the stories, particularly in the sporting world, that I was unaware of. And there was one particular story that really got my attention, because one of the areas that I work in as a coach, for those of you who don't know, I run a coaching business as well as I lead a church called Everyday Champions. And that coaching business is something that works with leaders, entrepreneurs, athletes, pioneers, people who really want to make their mark, want to make a dent, want to make an impact, have an influence. And so watching programs such as Untold kind of gets my attention, because these are the people that I work with in terms of people who want to be at the top of their game. Well, there's this one particular story which I had never heard of, but I watched it with real intrigue. And it was the story really of the US tennis academy and the US tennis association. And for many years, they had dominated the sport of tennis. And they decided that they wanted to keep that momentum up. And so they established an academy and they brought young players into that academy. And they knew that not everyone would make it, but they thought if we create the right environment, then we think we can really make something happen that is a real legacy in our country in the area of tennis. Well, there were two particular academy students who came in and that was Andy Roddick and Marty Fish. And these two young boys were part of this elite group of academy students. They ended up becoming really good friends. Marty Fish ended up spending a year with Andy Roddick's parents and family. So they became really close. But also they were really competitive. They were competitive at everything. Well, long story short, because I don't want to ruin it all for you, they have 10 years in a career together at the top of their game, playing in the top tournaments. Andy Roddick always beat Marty Fish. He always beat him. And Marty Fish is like this kind of almost like happy-go-lucky guy in the first part of his career, where he's kind of he's just happy to be there. Like he's just happy to be in the environment. He feels very blessed that he gets paid to do what he loves. And so in one sense, like he jokes around about not beating Andy Roddick and like the commentators, whenever they meet in the competitions, are kind of, you know, making a little bit of fun of him. And so like 9 times in professional tournaments, Andy Roddick beats Marty Fish. And then Marty Fish has this moment and he reflects on his life and he realizes he's 28. So he's only got so long left in his career. I guess if you want to look at it in terms of a year, it's a bit like the September. Yeah. It's like we've got 9 months in, 3 months, 4 months left. And we're looking at that latter part of the year. Well, this is what Marty Fish was doing with his life, with his career, his tennis career. And so he just made a decision that day. Do you know what? I want to test to see how good I really can be. Like I've enjoyed this journey so far. It's been good, but I want to see like if there's greatness in me. And he makes a decision, age 28. I'm going to leave it all out there. I'm going to go for it. So he ends up going on an intense routine of preparing himself emotionally, mentally, physically. He goes absolutely into the zone, total focus, total commitment. And he has his eyes set on a little tournament at the start of the season that he was training for. And it was the Newport tournament in America. And so it was literally a little quaint tournament because even the tennis court that they played the final on was kind of alongside other courts. You know, usually the stadiums have got like one court in the center. Like this is how small a tournament it was. But he told himself, he said, I must win this tournament. Like it wasn't like I'd like to, it's like I must win this tournament. Now, some people may look and say, well, but Marty, it's the smallest tournament. Like, why don't you put your sight on the US Open? Why don't you put your sight on Wimbledon? Why don't you put your sight on the Australian Open? But he actually had his sight, his long-term goal was to play in the showcase event at the O2, where they pick 7 or 8 of the best players to play at the end of the ATP tour. But he knew, like, that's great. That's a long-term vision. But it all starts with this small tournament. And he realized that he needed to build momentum. He realized that he needed to commit himself, even though it was something small in the eyes of the tennis world. If he really wanted to test the greatness that was in him, then he had to go all out in this competition. And I won't spoil the rest of it because I know some of you may want to go and watch it. But he ends up taking that tournament. then the next tournament, then the next tournament. And he goes from something, I think, like 300 in the world to in the top 10. And he ends up making it to his dream goal, which is at the O2 with those elite kind of 7 or 8 players with the likes of Nadal and Federer and Djokovic and Murray. But what stuck out to me was he made a decision. He made a commitment. He looked at the remaining years that he had and said, I want to look back and say, do you know what? I tested myself. And he realized that to do that, he needed to build momentum. I want to look at that in what I talk to you about right now. How do we build momentum? What is momentum? Well, just before I actually look at what is momentum, I actually felt what momentum was like. You may say, well, what do you mean, Gareth? You felt? It caused me pain. Let me share a quick story. It was the 27th of December, 2009. And it was a harsh winter, and everywhere after Christmas was kind of frozen. And it was a Sunday morning. So we went to church, and I had the kids in the car. My wife was already down there kind of making preparation. And we entered into the car park of our center, which hosts our church. And we always park right round the back, allowing people to have the spaces near the front. So we're amongst the first there, and we drive into the car park. And little did I know that the black tarmac that I could see was actually iced over. At the end of the car park is a dike, a dip where there is water, where there is literally just a drop. And we were driving down the car park, and at the end, just before the dike, we have to turn left. As I'm driving, I try to slow down, but I've realized my brake isn't working. I'm getting that crunching noise. And I'm thinking, oh my word, this is black ice. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I can't stop the car. I can't stop the car. Kids are freaking out, like absolutely freaking out. There are Nintendo DSs, that's how long ago it was, flying around, and they are absolutely freaking out because I'm like, how do we stop? We're going to go over the edge. And literally, I'm trying everything. I had one of those button, what do you call it when you pull up the handbrakes? That's it. One of the button handbrakes. And I'm pressing that, and it's just clicking. Nothing is working. And literally, we're heading towards the dike. And I don't know what came over me, but it was a crazy thought. It was a crazy idea. I just told myself, Gareth, open the door and try and stop the car. Now you're starting to see where the pain of momentum was learned. I opened the door. As we're heading towards the dike, I can see that there are some kind of edges of kind of paving stones. And I'm thinking, just stick your leg out and somehow try and put some resistance from stopping this car from going over. And I did that. It was a stupid thought, because when you think about it, there's no way in a million years that my weight could handle the weight of the car and the force at which it was moving. Well, I realized then that I was in trouble. Thankfully, the car did go over, but it got stuck underneath on those paving slabs, and it was kind of literally just hanging there. The dike was there. Me and the kids were safe. I couldn't walk. I'd bent my leg backwards. But I realized then what momentum can do. Momentum is a real force. So like, what is momentum? Let's have a little look at what is momentum. So just behind me right now, you should be able to see an equation. So it's a bit of a scientific equation. And it's P equals mv. I don't know if any of you know what that stands for. Well, let me tell you what that stands for. It stands for momentum equals mass times velocity. Put it another way, momentum equals weight times speed. Momentum equals weight times speed. So like the car, even the car in a stationary position was stronger than me. But the car, its weight times the speed it was moving was a force that I could not stop. Momentum is a force that can become unstoppable. Marty Fish built momentum. He started to become unstoppable. And yes, he beat Andy Roddick. It didn't get to 10 times in a row that he was beaten. He then beat him again. You see, that's what happens with momentum. Well, what's this got to do with my life, Gareth? What's this got to do with my family? What's this got to do with my business? Well, if you have aspirations, if you have dreams, if you have goals, then you will want to know how to get from where you are to where those dreams are in the future. And sometimes the bigger the dream, the more challenging it can become. Sometimes we look at the dream and we think, really? Like, can I? Could I? Am I the person to do that? Am I the person to be involved with Genestar and to hit the heights of some of the other leaders that I'm hearing about on this call or I've heard about before? Like, could I really do that? And personal momentum can be seen in the life of one of my favorite characters. And I'm a Christian, so I hope you don't mind me sharing just a biblical story, but it's one of those stories, to be honest, that whether you're a spiritual person or not, you'll know the story, because they often use this story when it comes to boxing matches. They often use this story in sporting analogies. It's the story of David and Goliath. And quick summary of the story of David and Goliath. Like, David is part of a nation called Israel, and Goliath is part of a nation or a group of people called the Philistines. And essentially, what you've got these two sides that are on a mountain, literally facing each other, with a valley in between. And stood at the base of the valley is this huge, ginormous giant called Goliath. And basically, he's inviting anybody from the Israelites to come and take him on. Day after day, the Israelite nation rock up to the top of that mount and they sing songs of victory. They're like, we're going to win. We're going to take you Philistines out. You know, like, we are the champions. That's where the song first started. Yeah, Freddie Mercury was there. And so they would sing songs of victory, the story says. But how many of you know there's a difference between singing a winning song and the actual reality of winning? And so they would literally rock up each day singing victory songs, but nobody would dare actually go and put it into action. Until one day, David, who was a shepherd boy, brings lunch for his brothers, and he ends up seeing this giant. He ends up hearing this giant taunting his nation, taunting the God of their nation. And something within him says, no, this can't happen. A decision to win is made. You see, what happened is David, long story short, he saw the barrier that stood between his nation and where they wanted to go. He heard about the things that would be done for the person who would take down this giant. Literally, I mean, you will hear of some great opportunities through Genestar. I mean, listen to this. Imagine if these were some of the opportunities. A tax-free life was on offer for somebody who took down Goliath. The daughter of the king, like literally you'd become part of the royal family. Like, you would have every need met for the rest of your life. I mean, talk about financial freedom, yeah? But what stood between him and that reality, and the reality of his nation winning, was this Goliath. You see, David wasn't the ideal candidate. Like, he wasn't the ideal brother, because his brothers were part of the army. He wasn't the ideal brother for the fight. He wasn't the ideal fighter. He was a shepherd boy. He hadn't had the ideal preparation. You know, he hadn't been through military school. He didn't have the ideal resources. Even when they tried to kit him out with like armor, he was like, I can't do anything in this. He didn't have the ideal look. He was described in one part of the story as the runt of the family. He didn't have the ideal. But you see, he didn't need the ideal. He just needed an idea that he could execute upon. That's what he needed, an idea. Everything starts in this world as an idea. Think about anything that has come to fruition. I mean, isn't it amazing? Even the fact right now that we're doing this like this, and we're in all different parts of the country and possibly even world watching this. And Jeff and Mark are in the studio down there in Caterham, and we're able to have this connectivity. Like, but how did all this come about? Somebody had an idea, but they had an idea that they executed. They didn't come to the office that day like singing, like, oh, I've got this great idea. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to transform the world, and then do nothing. Like, they executed the idea. They executed all of the small steps that took them to where they needed to get to. You see, the reason why David had the idea to take on Goliath, because actually it didn't start there for him. The story goes that while looking after the sheep, when the lion came, he took out the lion with his sling and his stones. He developed his own unique skill that could defend what he was supposed to look after. The bear would come along and try and take out the sheep. But again, he developed the skill of using his sling and the stone. And so while nobody was watching, he was building personal momentum. He was executing a skill over and over and over again. So when it actually came for the day for when he stood on the public scene, he was ready. You see, that's what momentum does. Momentum makes us ready for the big opportunities. But we've got to have a fantastic relationship with all of the small actions that lead to the great opportunities. So I said to you, right, what is personal momentum? Well, this is what momentum is. Let me use Marty Fisher as an example. It's the weight of certain belief. I can do this. Like, not maybe I can do this, like, but I can do this. Certain belief is a weight, okay? Think about the weight of the car. The weight of the car plus the speed it's moving at. The weight is the substance. That's what faith is. And this isn't a religious, I'm just using the word faith in terms of religious faith. I'm talking in the sense of belief. It is a substance. The substance of a person is what they truly believe. So the weight of certain belief, but that needs something else. It needs the speed of consistent action. Notice the speed of consistent action. Do we have any people on the broadcast today who have procrastinated or are amazing at procrastination? Put things off, have a great intentions, but don't follow through. I felt that pain too. You're human, I'm human. But we don't have to wait for the ideal circumstances to trigger an idea. We need to start to move fast on the small decisions. We need to be a bit like Marty Fish, who says, right, small tournament, Newport, go for it. You have to do that before you can go on to the next tournament and the next tournament after that. It's that certain belief, like, I have to do that. And then the speed of action, he got right to it. And so that's the combination that David had. Like, the actual story, and I know there are lots of people, part of Genestar that have a Christian faith. So you will know the story, maybe more than others. But it actually says that David ran towards Goliath. Like, he didn't like just kind of drag his sling behind him, like thinking, oh boy, what have I let myself in for? He ran. Like, he ran into the valley. Think about that. The valley speaks of resistance. This valley speaks of challenge. How many of us run away or around resistance? But momentum is built by running into resistance. So, weight of certain belief. What do you believe about this final few months? And what are you going to get to quickly? Speed and action. Well, this is where I want to introduce to you a program that I have created, that working with Jeff and Margot and Mark and the team at Genistar, if you're part of Genistar, you will be able to access in the coming months. Depending on where you are in the company, you will have access to different levels of the program, but it's a coaching program to help you do what I'm talking about, to build personal momentum. And a couple of sayings here about momentum. Darren Hardy says, consistency is the key to achieving and maintaining momentum. Sometimes we need a structured environment in order to build consistent activity, but in an environment that inspires certain belief. That's what this program is going to be. Tony Robbins said, people who succeed have momentum. The more they succeed, the more they want to succeed, and the more they find a way to succeed. So you can see it builds momentum. And we're going to run this in cycles. The program is going to be consistently running, but we're going to have specific cycles, 3 cycles, providing it all goes according to plan, which I absolutely believe it will, 3 cycles a year. And we're inviting you to be part of this cycle coming into the remaining part of this year. You see, as you can see here, and I'll say this quickly, just the few minutes that I've got, it's about clarity. I want to help you get clarity on who you are. What is it you want? What is it you've got to do? Consistency, build that consistent behavior. Accountability. One of the secret ingredients of being a champion is accountability. But often we don't want it because it creates a sense of resistance. Oh, I've got to do it now. I've said it. Or some of us just prefer, and I've been there, we love singing the songs, but we don't want the action. No, accountability makes sure that we don't just sing, we run towards the giant. And then scalability. If you are or have been in the business for a number of years, we've created this program so that it can scale with you building your business. We're going to be looking at 3 key components over the next year. And in the first quarter, in the first cycle, the first 90-day cycle, we're going to be looking at high performance. Then we're going to look at, in the new year, health. And then we're going to look at leadership. All 3 of these are absolutely key to thrive, prosper, and build momentum. Here you can see behind me, I'm just going to flick through here. We've got subjects on here, such as how do I get more done in less time? How can I start to predict my results? In the health section, we've got things such as how to release my inner strength, how to get people to buy into me. In the leadership section, we've got subjects such as how to overcome imposter syndrome. Anybody suffered from imposter syndrome? Okay. How to improve through challenge, how to get more done through others. I'm sure you can see how this is going to be invaluable. But the whole idea here is that we want to help you develop an executable plan and an environment that inspires you to have the courage to deliver. David had a sling and a stone, or 5 stones, in fact. He had the capability, but then he needed the courage to execute. And so, as you can see here, just a few snapshots of, this is a mock plan of somebody who has aspirations to one day be an SNSD, and then a 3-year goal of an NSD. And then this is their goal to become an EVP. So again, we're working through an actual executable plan, breaking it down into steps. You see, so many people have got a dream, but a dream without a plan is a wish. Okay? And here we've got a weekly plan that you can start to put together, and even helping you understand the power of time blocking. I know some of you on the call have read my book, The Winning Conversation. I talk in there about firewall focus. Marty Fish had to focus in order to make his goal become a reality and not just stay as a wish. So again, I'm going to go into this a little bit more as we start to unpack the program. So you may be saying, well, Gareth, okay, right, what do I do next? Well, next week, Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, and Thursday evening, we've created a free coaching challenge for anybody who would like to take part. if you're not in Genestar and maybe you're still in two minds, you can still come on and be part of it. And maybe this will help you understand maybe how Genestar can play a key role in your dreams and your goals. Let your family know, let people know who you know have got more in them than they think. And you can join us for this free coaching challenge. It's 1 hour per evening. And the goal is that we're going to help you on evening one to get the right mindset. 80% of the time, why we don't follow through, we don't build up that momentum, is we don't have the mindset. Evening two, we're going to look at vision, clarity of vision. Like, how do I build a clear vision of the future and the people that I want to serve through my life? And then the final evening, on the Thursday evening, actually starting to put legs on that plan. And this will set you up for the Winning Momentum program. Okay. So I want to encourage you, sign up today. You can go to garethmorgan.tv. If you want to go directly to the page, the link is at the top of the opening page. But if you want to go direct to the page, it's www.garethmorgan.tv/close the gap. Because we want to help you close the gap between where you are and where you want to get to. Some of us have been on this mountainside, like the Israelites, for far too long, singing songs. Well, it's time to say enough is enough. Like, I'm going to run headlong into this challenge. And listen, I'm just here to serve. I've always said to Jeff from day one, my goal in everything that I do is to help people unlock the potential that is in them. But we can only do that when we start to put a demand on ourselves in the form of an inspiring and compelling vision. And so through the Close the Gap challenge, and then at the end of that 3-day challenge, again, if you're not able to be there for any of the sessions, still sign up. We'll send you the link so you can watch it back. And at the end of those 3-day challenge, I'll let you know how you can access the program. And through the office, we will let those of you who are already in Genestar understand how you can access the part of the program that the company, yes, Jeff Margo and the company are providing for you. Like that, they believe in you, but them believing in you is not enough. You've got to believe in you. Okay. And so we'll communicate that to all of you in the coming a week or so. But first stop, Close the Gap challenge. And I can't wait to see you there. Jeff, back to you in the studio.
Fantastic. Gareth, thank you.
I know you're watching the program with us, but my apologies for a few of the teething problems to everybody on here. I know we had some sound problems. Kind of bear with us. This is our first time live from the studio. And of course, Gareth, you're all the way up north, so it came through fantastic. And I think I had my earpiece in, so I was talking, and I think some of that was coming in, so my apologies. But just a couple things I want to mention is, you're talking about finishing strong. And I think it's not only are we talking about finishing strong in this last, quarter of 2021, but, the reason that we're providing this coaching, the reason I've asked Gareth to put together this whole program is because I want each one of you to be able to finish strong in your life. And, I guess the older I get, the more legacy means to me, the more, it means to me about doing things the right way. And I wrote down here, it's not always about what you're getting, but it's about who you're becoming. If I want you to become a millionaire, but not for the money, I want you to become a millionaire for the person that you can become. Now, I remember saying to Art, I said, well, Art, some of the millionaires I know are jerks. And he said, let me tell you something. They were jerks before they became millionaires. Money just allows you to be the person that you really want to be. And if you're a good person, you become better. If you're a bad person, you become, worse. If you're a jerk, you just become a bigger jerk. And so I wanted Gareth to, when Gareth said to Margo and to me and to the board, what is it? How can I help serve you? I said, Gareth, I want to take people on this holistic journey to their lives. I want them to do better financially, but I want them to be happy. I want them to be able to go on this journey, and I don't want them to have to go spend thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. So guys, we're providing this part to you. Now there will come a point where you're going to have to make a decision. Do you need to hire a coach? And Gareth certainly is there. And you know, one of the beauties of Genistar, guys, is you've got executive vice presidents, you've got upline team leaders, senior team leaders, group leaders, EVPs, executive vice presidents, senior vice presidents, national sales directors, senior national sales director, a managing director, our business solutions director, myself, a whole field support center that's here to support you. We're not going to do it for you, but guys, we're here to help you to go achieve whatever goals and dreams that you've got. And so I want to really encourage you guys to plug into this. Again, if you know, I know all those evenings, you know, hopefully, Gareth, the majority of our people will be having appointments in those evenings. But again, you sign up for it. You can get the recordings and get plugged into it. And again, Gareth, I just want to thank you for, you know, just for the tremendous amount of time, effort, and energy. I know we pay you for it, but you really and truly put your heart and your soul into it. So thank you.
It's my pleasure, Jeff.
Great. Thank you. Well, listen, I want to talk to you now about something that we have coming up. It's additional recognition, and we have two parts that we want to talk to you about. It's a little bit like rowing a boat. I don't know if this is going to get in the picture or not, but this is an oar, and on one side it says R. I'll show you the other one in a moment, but this stands for recruiting. Recruiting is such a key to our business. It's really about new blood. But did you know that if all you do is just row with one oar in a boat, guess what you do? You just kind of go in circles, don't you? So we're going to show you another part that goes with that, along with that, where that you can actually have both of those things that you're actually doing together so that you can actually row to your destination. But let me go through the first part here, which is on the recruiting part, and really the people that have been leading from the front. And again, this will be for the second quarter of recognition. Number 3 is the awesome Executive Vice President, Danya Nar, with 7 personal recruits. That would have been for the entire quarter of 2021, the second quarter. Number 2, Joyce Agbor, number of independent business agreements, okay, IBAs, 10 personal recruits. And that's one of the reasons why that she became a Blue Vase winner. She had at least 3 per month along with the business volume. And there's only one number 1, and actually there's not only one number 1 today, there's 2 number 1s, because there was a tie, and the tie in number 1 is to Executive Vice President Charmaine Simpson, and also to National Sales Director Arvin Burgos, who's actually here with us in the studio with 11 personal IBAs, each of them. So I'm going to turn it over now to the awesome National Sales Director, Arvin Burgos. Arvin, over to you.
Hey, good evening, everyone. And Jeff, thank you very much for inviting us to this amazing studio that we have in Caterham. And it is actually amazing to see how we transform from a face-to-face, actually, a live event like that. And we have our own studio here in Caterham. So I would like to invite everyone to come at some point and see what we're doing here. All right. So today, actually, guys, I'll be talking about recruitment, and I'll be joined by Joyce Agbor, one of our amazing executive vice president online. Joyce, are you there?
You mean Charmaine?
Sorry, Charmaine Simpson. Sorry, I was looking at Charmaine. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Can you say hello, Charmaine? Just check your audio there.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. So, Charmaine, actually, we'll be going through this actual recruitment, and again, let me just actually give you a little bit more of of Charmaine's background, guys. You know that Charmaine, you joined in May 2016, And in December 2016, you are licensed. You've been a go-getter actually in the same month. Team leader in January 2017. Then senior team leader actually in July 2017, and the group leader in June 2016. And you qualified as an executive vice president in July 2020, Blue Vase in August 2020, executive vice president 2021. What an amazing number there actually that you showed us, Charmaine. And you are a very busy mom. Okay, you've got 3 daughters there. Again, working actually 2 businesses with your husband for 14 years, and yet here you go. You build your business on a part-time basis, and now an executive vice president full-time with us. So would you agree actually, Charmaine, that one of the things that you've been doing is building a business? And if we say building a business, that includes recruiting.
Yes, definitely. And I just want to say I absolutely love Genestar, and it's so important that we tell people about what we do. And for me, it wasn't a active decision to go out and recruit people. It's just to tell people about the wonderful work that we do at Genestar and how it can help families. And people want to get involved because they hear the passion, how I taught, how it's benefited my family, and they want to get involved in that, in this movement as well, which is very important to me.
And you can see actually, dear Charmaine, that on your actually story there, you actually been a group leader, become an executive vice president, and recruiting is one of the main ingredients that helps you actually to achieve those numbers, right? So,
Yes.
could you go through this one actually, Charmaine, with us? Why recruiting?
So recruiting is very important. So you can see I have a very busy life. I'm a mother, businesswoman, carer to my family members as well. So I'm quite busy, but I have some big goals and dreams. Now I can't do it all by myself. I need help to do this. And what I've learned through having great mentors such as Daryl Harper and others, that in order for you to help more people, you need a team. You can't just be a one-woman band. You have to have a team of people helping you as well. And that's distribution. We're in the business of distributing financial education. And the more people that can help me distribute this financial education, it will help me and my goals in terms of ensuring that people have this financial education so they don't have the experiences that I had of growing up watching my friends and family members suffering with debt, literally working themselves to high blood pressure, diabetes and strokes. We don't need to do that because the information is out there. But we have to give this information to the people. And this is why we need a team of people to go out there and share this information, share this wonderful opportunity to the people in the UK so that we can actually cure this financial issues that people suffer with.
And then Charmaine, and again, part of our business, that's people just to realize, guys, that our business is not always been actually just like always up and up there. Would you agree as well, Charmaine, that we got some downtime? Sometimes we got actually our business actually stagnated at some point. But would you agree actually, Charmaine, that part of what we teach to our team, the only way that we can go back there and can rebuild our business, it's always actually recruiting. As actually A.L. Williams said before, the solution for every problem that we have is recruiting.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Charmaine?
Oh yes, definitely, because we are a people business, and people lives change, people's commitments change. So you want to keep talking to people, because some people leave, some people join, and we want to be able to look at those periods, because we may have quiet periods. I've had quiet periods in my business, but I didn't look at that as a negative thing. That might be a chance for me to relook at my business, look at what areas I need to focus on, go and do some more studying, because this business is all about learning and educating yourself and becoming the best that you can be. This is why I love Garrett Morgan earlier and what he was talking about, because it's all about learning. The more you learn, the more you can earn, and also the more you can support your team members as well, and also be the leader that you want to be and lead from the front. So that might be dedicating yourself to personal development, and during those quiet times, that might be the time to do that. But there's never a quiet day in Genestar for me. It's always busy.
Fantastic. And again, actually, your numbers there, Charmaine, is really, really impressive. And just to actually share to everybody, if your business is stagnating at the moment, let me just show you some numbers. In July, actually, I personally recruited 6 people. I know that with that 6 people that recruited in July, I personally actually write some business on that one. It's about, Charmaine, about $7,000 personal business on executive vice president position. Wow. That's a 100% contract there. And from that, we actually managed to get 80 referrals from those 6 personal recruits there. So as you can see, guys, if you are struggling with your business at the moment, the solution that you have there is just recruiting. Do you agree as well, actually, Charmaine? Yeah. That we are always actually one recruit away from explosion, isn't it?
Yeah, and definitely just go out and speak to people. Now that the restrictions are being lifted, you can go out and talk to people now. Even in the supermarket, recruit as you go, talk to people, smile, say hello. Create those relationships as well. So sometimes we have to come out from behind our computer and just go out there and talk to people, and you never know how that conversation will impact and who that conversation you will have with. That could be the person that explodes your business. But
absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, and that's fantastic actually. But how guys actually taking notes actually with this, because there's nothing changed. Either your business is up or down, even actually from the start of Jenny Star until today. The secret to someone's actually to go back there and get the momentum back. It's always recruiting, okay? Yeah. And again, actually, one of the things I want to share, Charmaine, I've got these people who came back to reinstate themselves, and and they have actually given me 10 new referrals. But my struggle, Charmaine, is for them to go back and redo their exam, okay? You know what? I just want to share to you what happened to this one particular person. He's an amazing lady. He got a good referral. Actually, he's given me 10, 5, 6 stars referrals there. But you know what happened? Because my struggle with her is she's so busy running some businesses, she cannot go to take the exam. But what I did is I went and see all those 10 people, and we managed to recruit 3 people under her. And what I did to her, Charmaine, I called that lady, hey, I don't want you to lose out on this one. What you need to do is go online and try to do your exam, because I don't want you to lose to these old commissions that we were going to be putting together, because I managed already to get 40 to 50 referrals from the 3 recruits that we have there. And you know what, Charmaine? The following day, she just texted me and she's taken her exam. Now, oh, yeah. So what is actually, what I'm trying to say here is actually, if you recruit people under your people as well, that you don't need actually to force them to bring them to an office and take the exam, because that's actually the fear of loss. And again, we're not actually making them actually sorry about themselves not having that credits there, but we're helping them to build their team as well. Okay, so yeah, go on, Charmaine.
And it's very important. So with my busy life and the things I've got to do, I often say to people, you make time for the things that are important to you. And you got to look at what is your why. So my why, my reason for joining, I want to help my family and help my community. And that's what gets me motivated in the morning. So if somebody says to me, all you have to do is take some time out to complete an exam, and that's going to change your life, I'm going to make that time. And there's nothing on TV that's going to distract me from my why, because that is what's important to me. So you'll find the time and you'll make the time, and that's what's going to motivate you. So if somebody said to me, Charmaine, all you have to do is take an exam, which is multiple choice, very interactive, and that by you taking that exam, it's going to revolutionize your life. That's going to able to help your family, leave a legacy. That's also going to make able to support your family, retire your father, buy the dream home that you want to go, buy land abroad in Africa. That I'm going to make time for that. So it's what you value, and how big is your why, and how blessed you are in your why.
Yeah. And I've got some big goals.
We can see that.
That's why I'm motivated and focused on what I need to keep.
And as Steve Jenkins says, keeping the main thing is very important.
Yeah, with that line that you just mentioned there, Charmaine, you did say keep the main thing, and you always actually go and do personal recruiting. So what is the main focus? Why you still doing the personal recruiting? You are an executive vice president now, Charmaine, but you are actually go out there month after month doing personal recruiting. Same thing that I'm doing right now. But I just want to actually ask you, why do you do personal recruiting?
For me, executive vice president is a title. So I don't want to get caught up in the ego that I'm executive vice president and stop doing what I was doing when I was a team leader. I still have that same passion when I was a representative to now that when I'm a executive vice president. So I don't want to stop doing what I was doing before. And for me, I I just love what we do, and I just love talking to people and sharing the benefits that Genestar has given to me and my family. So for me, it's natural to be natural recruiter because I've never stopped that recruiting. Never said, okay, right, I've become executive vice president now. Recruiting is below me, and I'm going to stop. No, I've always been that person that's gone out and speaking to people, recruiting to people, and talking and engaging people in what we do. After I leave here, after I come off this Zoom today, I'm going to go and speak to a women's group. So I'm keeping the main thing because it's so important, because I get to see, unfortunately, the negative effects of not having the right financial education on families. And that's what motivates me, because for me, speaking to that family and giving them that one piece of information that could have changed their financial future. So that's what keeps me going and keeps me focused on what I need to do.
And again, to add what actually Charmaine said there, with the distribution that we have, the distribution opportunity that we have, that is where you can actually develop a sustainable business that you don't need to be there all the time. But if you have actually a distribution system, you can earn passive income by helping other people achieving their goals and dreams. And again, actually, Charmaine, probably actually why those people in the executive vice president is earning more. Just like in any industry, why are you wondering why the CEO actually in any company actually earn more money than those people at the bottom? It's because they got more people that they are part of the organization. So our business is continuously building. And I like what you said there, Charmaine, that you said that you want to share this opportunity. But let me just transcribe that to how I see it as well. You should be good in sales, okay?
Yes.
But selling the opportunity, selling about the company. Well, they just announced, guys, that probably we're going to Africa at some point. I will be selling that, and that's just one opportunity for me to expand my business, because our business is always actually in distribution system. Now, you always actually promote people to a team leader, actually, Charmaine, right? And again, from that actually position, what could you coach people? If they got 3 people, what's the next thing that they need to do?
So in terms of the team leaders, is find people and work that team with the 3 people that they've recruited. Get them to speak to their warm market, speak to their friends and families, speak to their community, and also build their teams as well. So you're going deep, and hopefully that will keep them in the business and keep them motivated to what the benefit of what we do. Because some people join the business and they don't see at the beginning. So it took me a while to actually think about, okay, because when I first joined Genestar, I didn't have a vision of wanting to become executive vice president. This came later, when I started to think about, how can this help me? How can this help me with my family? I can actually raise my family, don't have to be working and going into work. I can actually watch them grow. The flexibility of Genestar was amazing for me. And I was like, you know what? I need to share this with people and lead from the front. Because people don't buy Genestar, they buy you. They look at your life and how you're acting, and they can see the passion, and they can see how you're excited when you talk about Genestar and how it's benefited them. People will have a vested interest in what you're doing. My friends always ask, oh, Charmaine, you're busy, what you're doing? I'm like, listen, I'm doing some amazing stuff. I'm helping families, and they will want to be interested. Curiosity also helps as well.
Absolutely. And we're actually closing on our segment now, actually, Charmaine. And, everybody has been affected with this pandemic. And, either you are a part-timer, you are full-time, or someone actually who's there, looking after a family. In perspective of that, actually, Charmaine, how do we actually help our team to come out actually in this pandemic strong, just like to come actually and coach them, to come strong in a position whereby before the pandemic they're doing great, and again this one now actually during the pandemic, how could you coach someone actually to how to get to reboot, to get to the same level where they were before?
Okay, being deaf and being a listening ear to them, support them, creating a supportive environment for them as well, letting them know that they're not the only one that's going through this period of time. Also, getting them to revisit their why they joined the business, why they are focused on the business, and also think about how we can work together. Because and that's what we do. What can we do? What creative things can we do together? How can we pivot in our business? Because we didn't expect the pandemic was going to happen, but the pandemic has been good for my business because it made me sit down and focus. It made me focus on what do I want to achieve. And 2020 for me was busy because I had to refocus my team. The fact that we're online via Zoom now, I was able to do. It was more easier for me because I didn't have to worry about childcare, getting on the train and coming back. It was brilliant for me, and just looking at how we can pivot and respond to change. And I absolutely love change, and change is a good thing. And I always say to people that everything happens for a reason. And the pandemic happened for a reason, for us to look at what we need to do, what is important to us and our family. Having multiple streams of income, having certain protection in place. All of these things happened for a reason. And that has been good for my business now, because now people are seeing what I've been speaking about before the pandemic now in reality. And sometimes people need that push in order for them to take action.
Well, actually, look at this. Actually, there's actually the UK. There are nearly 1,200 businesses closing every day in 2021. But let me just actually summarize what we just actually discussed today, Charmaine. And thank you very much for that golden nuggets that you got there. You know, I'm learning a lot from you, and I hope actually the people online is learning as well. So the fastest way actually to grow your business, guys, is by focusing in recruiting people. You're always one recruit away from explosion. People don't want selling, but they want, if you sell them the opportunity, it's easier. Do you agree, Charmaine, that if it's easier to, as I got that from Charmaine, it's easier to sell, to recruit than to sell? And recruit, actually, the best way to do that one, as Charmaine is going to like that a while ago, the sales process should be, you know, you recruit them for about our company, our concept, and their commitment to achieve their goals and dream. And as a final word there, you know, recruiting actually answers everything. So I hope that actually helped you guys. Charmaine, thank you very much. You're an amazing woman. So we're looking forward for your promotion. Hopefully in this year, you'll be hitting your senior vice president and actually have a bigger impact to the community that you serve. So Jeff, back to you.
Thank you.
Great. Charmaine, as I was listening and also watching you, two things. Number one, your infectious enthusiasm, that big smile. I'm ready to sign up again. You know, I'm ready to go sign my independent business agreement all over. And then also, I got to tell you something. As I was listening to you, you know, I have a confession to make. Every once in a while, I wake up asking myself, why do I do this? I mean, I have a why, but Margot and I are financially independent, and I want to tell you the reason why we do this is because of you, because people like you, and I owe it to people like you and people like Arvin and the rest of the company. You know, you guys are like our kids, and I want to deliver on Genistar becoming the #1 financial education, #1 financial services company here in the UK, so that we can change all of your legacies for generations and generations to come. So thank you so much, Charmaine, and Arvin, both of you, for your tremendous commitment to Genistar, to the cause of really going out there and helping people to become debt-free and financially independent. So there's a second OR that we use, and this one has got the letter C on it, if you can see that, okay? And that stands for clients, because the recruiting part of it, it really does, that's the second OR. But if all you do is just get clients, or just sell, if you will, then your boat, so to speak, your why, as Charmaine talked about, yeah, you're gonna make some money, but you're not gonna really be going in the direction that you really want to be going in, okay? And so I want to introduce now a couple of people, but I want to just kind of talk a little bit about them. Arvin and of course Charmaine here, we're talking about recruiting, the main thing. And congratulations, Arvin, #3 personal premium. Boy, guys, this just goes to show you that what happens is that you end up recruiting, and then out on the other end of the pipeline, business and income starts coming along. So it really is, it all starts with the actual premium, or with the recruiting part rather. And #2 Joyce Agbor. Okay, so congratulations, Joyce, and of course we'll be hearing from Joyce a little bit later. Okay, but there's only one number one, and here's what's amazing, guys, is Dolly and William Bright in the second quarter of 2021 did over 20,000 pounds of personal activated. That's not submitted business, okay? That's activated business, and her persistency or quality of business is like up at 99%, okay? Now here's what's amazing, guys. This is the third quarter in a row that Dolly Bright has led the company. This year we'll do well over 100,000, maybe even 150,000 of personal business. That's one of the reasons why she's one of the highest paid females in the company. So she's not looking to her team to go do it for her, and I'm going to make all my money on override. She leads from the front. She travels double. And here's what's amazing, guys, about her and about William and their family. They have 3 beautiful boys. Now, their youngest one, Daniel, he tells me he's going to take my job as the CEO, okay? And I don't doubt whatsoever that he will. But they've got a wonderful family. And so she's not just doing this on her own, but William is right there alongside with her, as well as the 3 boys are helping her on file checking and everything else. And I think Daniel gets up every morning and says, hey, Mom, when are we going to Disney World? I'm not sure how he motivates her, okay? But guys, they're in this thing together, and they're all here in the studio with us. So I'm going to turn it over. Congratulations, Dolly and William Bright. Congratulations. Let's all give them a big round of applause. I know we can't hear you, but congratulations, guys. The power of partnership. Over to you, Dolly.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. First of all, I would like to thank as well our team Visionaries, for giving all their best as well to support us as well. And I am here today along with my family, and just actually to share with you what's actually our mission, why we are so consistent with our business as well. And part of that, I believe that if you have a support with your family, you can do actually more things in your business, and as part of that is a family. So now I have here with me with my family as well, that they're gonna share, not just me talking here, but they will share their experience of being part of Genistar business as well. So I will ask Daniel his experience about Genistar. So over to you, Daniel. So we're gonna tell about your experience in Genistar. You remember when I was not in Genistar before? You have a story, right?
Yeah. When my mom used to work in NHS, I didn't have too much time with my mom. But now she's working at home with my dad, and that's it.
And you remember during lockdown as well, you actually, what did you promote at school? You remember that?
The True Riches book.
You're trying to recruit your teacher, right? Yeah, and what did you enjoy about Genistar?
That we get holidays with my family and get more time with my family in the holidays.
That's great. Yeah, and now I'm gonna pass with Moses as well, because Moses actually is a part of my business in terms of admin, guys. So Moses is a really big part of my Genistar as well business. So over to you, Moses.
So yeah, Genistar has helped a lot dramatically in our family. Like before, I didn't expect my mum to reach this kind of position, and being able to help her is a really great achievement. I help her with all the admin stuff, all the promotions that she wants me to do, all the designing. I do all, whenever she needs help with sort of Wi-Fi issues, I'll be there. Just in case there's a problem, I'll sort it out as soon as possible. And I just love helping her, and it's really such a great achievement seeing her being able to achieve the holidays, like Daniel said, because of her hard work. It's just a really good achievement for us as a family. and it's brought us to so many different things, and being able to work with her, like I said, with the admin stuff. I know it's just a part in the background, but it's just helping her achieve her dream for us as a family. So it's really good in terms of working together, and it's a partnership really.
And now I have Emmanuel as well. Emmanuel is my eldest, and since day one when I started here in Genistar, he's my big supporter. So he always in my back supporting me. Mom, you're doing the right thing. And if I'm feeling down, he's the one supporting me as well. Because I think some of you, when I first started here in Genistar, my husband is not very supportive at that time. He was very skeptical, all right? So I did not tell him I joined in Genistar. I told him I joined Genistar when I was already promoted to team leader. So now Emmanuel will actually share his a testimony as well about Genistar, our partnership.
Hi everyone, I'm Emmanuel, and I'm Dolly's son, and I help with all the IT support and everything else. So essentially, I'm Dolly's, my mom's IT support, personal IT support. I'm there for her, and also personal assistant as well every now and then. So I'm also giving my mom advice every now and then. She needs support. I'm always there for my mom, and I'm really grateful for my mom because whilst I'm also helping her with IT support, I'm also looking at her presentation and everything else. From the very start, I had no idea how anything about finance at all whatsoever. So I'm there just watching my mom doing the presentation, and whilst I'm doing, making sure her PowerPoints are working fine, I'm also watching my mom doing the presentation and everything else. So I'm my mom's supporter, IT support, and also I'm grateful for my mom because after watching all of her presentation, where I had no idea about anything about finance whatsoever, because I came out of university and I had no idea about anything about finance. And then after being with my mom for a very long period of time, I started picking things up as well. So whilst my mom is learning something from me on the IT side, I'm also learning from my mom in terms of the finance side. So I'm thankful for Genistar in the fact that it brought us together as a family, and we're able to help one another in terms of whatever needs we might have. So if my mom, for example, one time IT support called my mom, and she had no idea how to fix it, and she had no idea how to communicate with IT support. And they kept on telling my mom, okay, just keep on refreshing the page, that will work. And then my mom's still confused, so I had to step in. And I stepped in, and then I talked to the IT support myself. And I looked at the errors on the website, and I said to my mom, this isn't going to work, even keep refreshing the page over and over again, because there's some issue with the server side. And eventually we got there in the end. We managed to fix the IT support that my mom had trouble with for 3 hours or so. So that's why I'm always there for my mom whenever she needs me. And like my mom as well, she's always there to support me with whatever needs I have as well. From the very start, when I had no financial knowledge up to now, thankfully to Genistar, after my mom did her the financial game plan on myself, I sort of had a different perspective on finance itself. At the very beginning, I wanted to, have a mortgage for my family, and I wanted to, save up and all those things. But then after, a few years spending my mom watching presentations, and then doing my own financial research, I've sort of developed my own sort of financial knowledge on what I wanted to do as well, thankfully to my mom. And now my financial goal has changed from from what it was at then. So I'm thankful for my mom for her support, and I'm always here to support my family whenever they need me, whatever that might be. So thank you for that.
Okay, and lastly, the head of the family.
Thank you very much. I said to the kids that I'm not going to be emotional today.
He's always emotional.
Most of the time when I speak like this, it's a very touchy subject, the financial concept. Because I will never change my statement.
It's very emotional.
We were drowned with debt before, but I managed to resign with my job as a radiographer, earning 30,000 pounds a year, just to support my wife. And support means to say that a partnership requires sacrifice. It requires unity, because unity in unity there is power and there is strength. Back in 2017, I was so skeptical, I was so reluctant, and for my wife to join with the business, because we were with the business, engaged with the business. She was engaged with the business for a number of businesses. From 2013, she's migrated here in United Kingdom, but unfortunately that wasn't successful. It didn't work for us. But since she joined Genistar back in 2017, she managed to be promoted as Executive Vice President in 8 months' time. And she really proves to me that there's something that she can prove to herself. And what Genistar does to us in our family, as you can hear the testimonies of these children about our finances regarding savings, protections, and a lot of things. It transforms our lives from financial financial illiteracy to escape from the bondage of financial difficulties. So I help her. I help my wife with all the things that she needed, especially this time that we are in a tough time with the FCA compliance, and I believe that the best is yet to come. So I will continually support her in Genistar, because I believe with Genistar, I've seen a lot of opportunity in Genistar with regards to incentive trips. I was there, almost how many incentive trips that I was there. So there's no regrets for me to be part of Genistar. And what I can say is all we need is hard work, determinations, and I can say that she never lose her enthusiasm up to this point of time. She always motivated, and it's very contagious, all the enthusiasm that she's doing, even the kids, myself. So we're all doing well with the Genistar. So I hope that it will carry on for the children of our children. Thank you very much.
All right.
Well, I'm just going to come onto the set here, and I know we can't hear you, but you can hear us. But I think all of you guys should be cheering and clapping, whether you're listening to this live or you're listening to a recording. And I just want to say, and William, I got to be careful because I'm going to get choked up here. But just seeing you guys, really and truly, makes it worth Margot and I moving here from the U.S. 18 years ago to start a company. And this is what Genistar is all about, is changing a generation to come. Here's the beauty of our business, is that you're in a position now, Dolly, where you're going to be getting ownership in your agency, in your code, to where someday these guys, okay, he'll probably end up being the boss. He seems like he bosses everybody around anyhow. So, but basically, you can pass this on. And in Primerica, there are people that have built a business like you guys here. Then the kids take it over. Now they've got their grandkids coming in and taking over the business. So it's not just something just to make a quick buck, just to make money. But the beauty of it is the lives that you're out there helping change their lives. Because I know you've had people that have claimed on serious illness cover, death claims, as well as people just, like you were talking about, William, being able to get out of debt and just getting the right direction in their lives when it comes to finance. So thank you so much to all of you, Dolly, especially to you and William, and your leadership, and to the boys, just for being so supportive. I'm so proud of you guys. I couldn't be more proud of you if you were my own kids. So congratulations. Really
Thank
proud
you
of
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, listen, guys, we're in for a real treat. We're going to take about a 10-minute break. And when we come back, you and your guests, hopefully you got a bunch of guests on here. If not, get on the phone right now, text them again, tell them to join us. And we've got a business overview that we're going to be having right after this, and then some additional training and recognition. So we'll see y'all in about 10 minutes.
I had a variety of careers, I guess you could call it, and they kind of ranged from leaving school, doing whatever I could do, to eventually kind of went from the ground up from being a junior salesman in a car dealership, so started kind of washing cars and then into sales and so on. Eventually became sales manager, won some national awards, which was really great. Got to the kind of 30 years old. I thought, wow, is this it? You know, is this the job for me? I mean, I'm doing pretty well, but you know, there's got to be more than just this. And at the time, I wasn't really looking for an opportunity like Genistar. I kind of felt that we were doing okay. But then, you know, things happen for a reason, I guess. And I came across the business, and I was at a point where I'd been making good money, but I was really living kind of way beyond my means. You know, I looked successful, but in reality, you know, my money would go in on the first of the month, go out on the second of the month, and I was just living hand to mouth for the rest of the month. And I always say that I was a money expert, and what I mean by that is I was an expert at spending money. So I didn't spend my money. I used to spend Visa, MasterCard, American Express's money, and I was so good at spending their money that I managed to accumulate personal debt around £95,000. And thankfully I came across Genistar, and I started to learn the things that we teach. I applied them because knowledge is power, but you know, the application of knowledge is the real power. So I applied them, became debt-free within just a few years, from £95,000 in debt. And you know, I've kind of gone from strength to strength in the business. I've continued to apply those things, pass them on to our children who, you know, have savings, have investments even at young ages now. And we're just really prospering and really feel blessed to be where we are. Genistar's changed my life in so many ways, both practical, physical, wealth, finance. I love that I'm the dad that can drop my son off to school every day without having to run off to his boss. I love the fact that I can be there for my son. Genistar's not for everybody. It's for a certain kind of person. I mean, it can be for anyone, but really what I find is the people that, you know, are honest, people of integrity, that like helping people, that are willing to learn, good work ethic. These are the kind of people that do well. In my opinion, Genistar is the best business opportunity ever. Now that's for me, it might not be for everybody, but I just look at this as a long-term business. I look at what happens in the kind of US version of what we do, who are a multi-billion-dollar company. So I guess I'm fortunate in a way that because I'm on the advisory committee and the position I'm in, I know what goes on behind the scenes, and therefore I understand the vision of where the company is going, and it's really exciting.
I work full-time. I spend 16 years working. I also have part-time during weekends. And of course, if you have 3 boys in a family, the money that you get in every month is not really enough to sustain the expenses and paying off the mortgage. So those days is really struggling. While I'm working full-time in John Lewis, my friend asked me if I'm free at that day, so she can invite me and we go together to see this business presentation. I've seen the beauty of that presentation. I've seen how the money works. And I said to my friend, wow, this is what I'm looking for. While I'm working full-time in John Lewis, I do this as part-time. Since I've been made redundant in my previous job in a retail, I'm still looking for a job because I needed the money to pay my bills and my mortgage. But again, it's hard to find a job at that days, at that years. So my friend and my mentor said to me, why not try be full-time in Genistar? You already have the experience of customer service and meeting customer in your previous job. So why not try? So I said, okay, I will try to do this. I'll give myself 1 year. So I'll give myself 1 year doing in Genistar, like recruiting and training, developing leaders. So we started to do that. Genistar changed me in all areas of my life through their coaching, training, developing me to become a better person and developing me to become a better leader. Genistar giving me the platform to have this life that I have. This is not my house before. Without the system of Genistar giving me, I won't be where I am right now. Genistar is an amazing opportunity to anyone, no matter what their background is. If you're not gonna try, you're not gonna know whether this is for you, isn't it? Because for myself, I said to myself before, if I don't try Genistar, where I am right now. But I encourage everyone to try. Is it easy? No, it's not uneasy. There's no uneasy in this world. Everything you have to pay the price to win big in life, isn't it? What I've learned from Genistar is about how money works and how to work your money and also how to make more money. And I've learned about having an asset to pay my liabilities. That's the best thing that I actually learned from the teaching and coaching and mentoring of the system of Genistar.
I used to work in casino as a croupier for 11 years. And most of the time, my work is night shift. And me and my husband do not have much time to each other because he works in daytime, working as a chef. So every time I went home, he's preparing to go to work. And when I wake up, my husband's still not around and he's still not seen each other. I feel really frustrated because we've been working so hard, like 40 to 60 hours a week, full-time. Of course, we have bills to pay every single day. We have 4 children to feed, and there's a lot of things. You see, at that time, my age is 46, and me and my husband thinking that we just like gonna be end up like this forever. So we can think that there's no way that we can get out of this debt. So what we do is I used to work any business opportunity I join, networking, selling, but still I was still working 40 to 60 hours a week full-time. When I've seen Genistar opportunity, it's really amazing because it feels great that there's a company that give you more information about finance. I love it because I think of my 4 boys, my 4 children, because they need to know this. They need to get more information. I'm so grateful because I have enough time to take care of my grandson. After 1 year of joining in the company, I became executive vice president. And then we managed to go to holiday, the whole family, from Dubai to Philippines. The good thing is we managed to pay off my debt as well. And we invest a property back home. And you know, we never think that we can do that. You know, we got savings, we got emergency fund, that before that we can even have like money in the bank, we have like negative because we use credit card, but it's different now. It's really changed our life. Genistar is a great business opportunity to people who wanted to change their life and to become somebody. And if you wanted to achieve your goals and dreams, it should be you have a determination and hard work, and at the same time you need to believe for yourself that you can do it.
I used to work in the NHS as a support worker, but my income really is just enough to pay the bills. And it's really difficult wherein you can only buy the things that is a necessity. You cannot go for anything more than that. I used to work 12-hour shift in the NHS, and it's very tiring because I used to work in a ward that is very busy, and when I get home I feel very tired. You need to take a rest, and then you're gonna prepare yourself again for the following day. I think what really makes me fascinated with Johnny Star is the mission of helping people, educating people, empowering people about their finances. Last year, in the midst of the pandemic, one of my team contacted me and said that one of our clients have passed away due to COVID-19. But to cut the story short, the family was able to receive a substantial amount of money of the cover that the husband took 3 years ago. And that is very life-changing in my part, especially to the bereaved family. One of the benefits that I really like working full-time in Johnny Star is the freedom to do the things that I really love. In a job, if you do good things, you're just lucky if they will give you a card or a bottle of wine. But in Johnny Star, if you do good, they reward you first-class holiday. I remember when I was invited in one of the big events in London called Millionaires University. I was mesmerized by the principle they teach. And I was blown away how the banks make money out of people's money in those missold products due to lack of financial education. And there is a saying that goes, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. And in Johnny Star, we are the good men because we empower people to make a good decision about their finances. If you really serious about upgrading yourself, what I meant by that is if you want a career change and personal development, Johnny Star is a good place. And if you're dreaming of a job that gives you a sense of purpose, if you're dreaming of a job that will allow you to educate and help others while also increasing your income, if you're dreaming of a job where you can enjoy and manage your time, I think Johnny Star is the best place for you.
I started my working life as a teacher and taught for about 5 years at a secondary school. My wife and I moved to Liverpool in 2009. We were involved with a church and working with a charity that was helping victims of human trafficking. During that time, we met Jeff. He was up in the Northwest doing a finance seminar, and we went along. I knew that he was a wealthy businessman, that he'd made his money in financial services. So I thought he'd be very flash with his cash, and he'd have a fast car and a Rolex watch. And when it came to money, I wouldn't be able to understand a word he said. And I was blown away, really. I was blown away by him as a person, very grounded, very down to earth, genuinely wanted to help people. I don't think he even came with a car. I think he just came on public transport, had a Casio watch, not a Rolex watch. And I just remember thinking that the principles he was sharing, I could understand. They were common sense. They made sense to me, and I just wish I'd heard them sort of 10 years earlier. And I knew that I'd have been in a different place to the one that me and my wife were in then. And he asked me a couple of questions. He said, Roger, do you like helping people? I said, yeah, I mean, that's what we do. And he said, would you like to make some extra money? And at the time, our daughters were about 10 and 7. And we were just looking for ways that we could earn a bit of extra income, just to do some fun things as a family. And so I kind of answered yes to both of his questions. And then he started to tell me a little bit about Genistar. And what really struck a chord with me was the mission of the company, which is to help families become debt-free and financially independent. And I thought, here's me dealing with families, a small number of people that grab the headlines often, who are trying to break free from a past they're trying to forget. But here's a company with this amazing mission that is actually trying to help the majority of families find financial freedom. And that was really the thing that excited me about what Jeff was telling me. And I thought, if this company is really doing that, then I'd love to be a part of that. I want to be in on that. I think first of all, Genestar gives you an opportunity to go and make a big difference in other people's lives. And in showing the financial concepts, they're not rocket science, but no one's ever been shown them at school. We don't talk about it a lot. And I think when you sit down with someone and take the time to really show them these things that are getting them to think long-term rather than short-term, do smart things rather than rash things with their money, and really prepare for a stronger future. It's a very exciting thing that you're doing. But I also think it's an amazing opportunity where you can learn a business part-time, spare time, become very, very good at it, and then build something that actually becomes your own. And I think that that's a really exciting part of this business. It's a chance for you to find a freedom for yourself and for your family, where you know that what you're building and working towards is something that can stay with you and your family for generations to come.
Hey, welcome back everybody. If you've been with us from the start this morning, if you are a brand new guest who's just joined us, welcome to the Genestar Business Overview presentation. It's part of our Fast School morning, which is great. So it's fantastic to have you with us. My name is Roger Davis and I'm a Senior Vice President in Genestar. And I've just been asked to take you through a kind of summary really of what our business is all about over the next 20-25 minutes or so. So let me just share a screen with you so we can get into the presentation that we're going to be using this morning. I'll just make that a slideshow. Oops. First thing I'd like you to do, if you are a guest and you're joining us this morning, could you do me a favor and just text the person that invited you to let them know that you're on. Just let them know that you've come on, you've joined the group, and that you're excited about what you're going to be hearing over the next 20 minutes or so. And this is really a chance for you to find out all the facts about Genestar. It's like an information mission for you, but also it's a chance to reflect a little bit on where you're at. Ask yourself some good questions this morning as we go through this information. Take lots of notes, write down your questions. There'll be an opportunity to speak to the person that invited you at the end so they can help you with that. And obviously, if you can, just get yourself in a place where there's little distraction so that you're focused on the slides and the information over the next 25 minutes. That would be fantastic, just so that you get as much out of this as possible. Let me just give you a little bit of my background. I'm based in Liverpool. My wife and I moved here way back in 2009. We're still working on the accent. And we were working for a charity and a church that was helping victims of human trafficking. And during that time, in about 2012, I met Jeff Letts, the CEO of Genestar, who was in the Northwest doing a presentation on finance. I knew he was a wealthy businessman, made his money in the area of financial services. So I made some prejudiced views about Jeff before I met him. I thought he'd drive a flash fast car, wear a Rolex watch, and when he talked about money, I wouldn't be able to understand a word he said. And yet, when I saw him and I met him, I was really surprised. First of all, he came on public transport. I don't think at that point he owned a car. And he had a Casio watch, not a Rolex. And that kind of messed with my head. And then he started talking about money. And I remember thinking, I understand all this. This is not hard to understand, but I just wish I'd been told it at an earlier stage in my life. I'd be in a really different place financially. So at the end of the presentation, I chatted with Jeff and we swapped numbers and we stayed in touch. And about a year later, he was back in the Northwest. And this time we went out for a coffee. And during our conversation, he asked me two really good questions that I'd like you to ask yourself this morning. The first one was, he said, Roger, do you like helping people? Do you like having a significant impact in the lives of others? And I guess for you, do you like that yourselves? I said yes to Jeff. I said, that's sort of what I do. It's part of my DNA. He said, well, let me ask you this. Would you be interested in, while helping families, earning an extra income? Now, I was working in the charity sector. We weren't paid a lot for what we were doing. And our daughters were about 10 and 7 at the time. And we thought, wow, if we could just earn some extra money to do some fun things as a family, that would be great. So I said yes to Jeff, and he started to unpack the business of Genestar. And I remember what really struck me was the mission of the company, which is to help families become debt-free, financially independent, properly protected. You see, Genestar has a conviction that no one in the UK in the 21st century should reached the later stages of their lives broke, that they should actually be able to accumulate wealth. And yet so many people are not on that journey. And I just thought, what a fantastic mission statement that Genestar has. It sounded like a charity, and yet it was a business, and I wanted to be a part of that. And so in 2013, I began in Genestar really part-time, just helping maybe one family a month. And after about 9 months of doing that, I met one of the founders, one of the founding vice presidents called John Flynn, an amazing coach, an amazing guy. And he just started to sort of coach me a little bit more about the business. He said, Roger, why are you doing this on your own? He said, you're like a bottleneck. You only help 1-2 families a month. What if you could build a team of people and empower them to do the same, like-minded, determined to help people, but also able to earn an income for themselves? You'd be able to multiply your impact and help a lot more families. He also said that the amazing thing is that the company would pay me not just for the work that I was doing, but for the work that my team did. Now, I have to admit, I didn't really understand that bit, but I understood the power of building a team, and that's what I started to do. So we built a team in Liverpool. It then grew to Manchester, and it started to spread across the Northwest. And so we started to gain momentum, and sure enough, my income started to rise until it was matching what I was earning full-time in my work. So at that point in 2014, I switched and I went full-time in Genestar. And by the end of 2015, I've become an executive vice president. And our roles as vice presidents is to supervise the team and to coach people who want to learn how to help families part-time, and to mentor people who want to go on and run their own business within the company. And so Genestar grew, our team grew. Last year, we doubled in size. It was a phenomenal explosion of activity and business. And we promoted 6 vice presidents just from our team last year. There's about 70 of us now, maybe a few more than that. And so now we're really excited about where we're going as a business. We're growing very fast, and we're really excited that you've taken 20 minutes or so of your time just to come and check out us as a company and check out the opportunity. So let me just explain a little bit more about who we are and what we do. Joe, it's interesting, when we first sit down with a client and help a family, the first thing we focus on is their goals and their dreams. You see, money isn't an end in itself. It actually enables you to do the things that you really want to do with your life. So I'm guessing as you come on the call today, you've got goals, you've got dreams, you've got things that you'd love to do with your family over the next few years. Maybe it's to buy a house or to buy a bigger house. Maybe it's to do with your children's education, or it's something to do with your travel plans for the future now that all the red zones are going away again. But whatever your goals and dreams are, how would you feel if 10 years from now you hadn't actually achieved them? I'm guessing you'd feel a little bit frustrated. It might niggle at your sense of self-esteem. You just feel like you're treading water. But what if you could find a way of achieving those goals and dreams over the next 2 to 5 years? How would that make you feel? I'm guessing it would be more like this family on the beach, kind of feeling upbeat and happy, like life has purpose and you're making progress. Well, that is what we want to do in Genestar. We want to help you turn your goals and dreams into a reality and create the life that you really desire and deserve. So who is Genestar and what do we do? Well, we're a financial services company with a difference, because we're focused on educating clients to empower them to make better financial choices for their future. We're regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, and we were established back in 2007, and we're now one of the fastest growing financial services companies in the whole of the UK. So how exactly do we actually help families become debt-free and financially independent? Well, the first thing we do is we provide free financial education for our clients and the families that we meet. You see, if you think about your time back in school, from the age of 7 to 17 or 18, you'll find that you got very little education on how to manage money, right? I mean, just think about it. I did A-level biology. I spent 2 weeks learning how to dissect a rat, and yet I got 15 minutes on how to manage money from a bank manager in assembly who came in and he just showed me how to open an account, write a check, spend on a credit card, and then they were gone. And yet, having left school, I've never dissected a rat ever again, I promise you. But I've dealt with money every day. And you're the same. You learn words in different languages you've never spoken again. You learn Pythagoras' theorem. Unless you're a maths teacher, you've never used that again. And yet you weren't taught the basic principles of the money game. And it's really hard to win a game, right, if you've never been taught the rules. And so that's the first thing we want to do. We want to educate families to teach them how to become debt-free quicker, how to accelerate out of their mortgage, not by paying more, but by just changing and tweaking the ways that they pay. We introduced something called the Rule of 72 and how that can help you learn how to be a smart investor for your long-term future. And a whole lot of other principles that, if you can apply them, help you get strong and stay strong financially. A couple of years ago, our CEO wrote a fantastic book called Your Journey to Financial Freedom. And we give that out to every one of our clients as a free complimentary ebook. So first of all, we want to equip people to make great choices, but then we want to actually help them implement that. Because knowledge is not power. It's the actual application of the knowledge that gives you the empowerment to change your future. And so we provide families with a free financial plan that helps them look at where they're starting from, where they're trying to get to, and how they can best get there. You see, the lack of planning when it comes to finance is the number one reason why people are failing when it comes to the long-term success with their money. And that creates a problem for families as they reach later life. You see, if you took a random sample of 100 67-year-olds in the UK right now, only one is wealthy. That means they've got a net worth of 2.5 million or more. So they have a lot of fun in retirement. They have a lot of choice and freedom. 4 are financially independent. They have a net worth between 500,000 and 2.5 million. And so they're comfortable. They can look after themselves. They're doing all right, and they're for them and their families. 41 are still working though, because they can't afford to stop. They have to stay working in their job. And 54, we've cheekily called dead broke, because this group live off whatever the government are going to pay them. They're totally dependent on the decisions of the government at the time. And at the moment, I don't know if you've ever looked into it, but for someone who's retired, they reach 67, they're entitled to £168 a week. Can you imagine that? It's a Monday morning, you leap out of bed, you rush to the post office, and all you get in your hand for that week is £168. That's not really thriving, it's more like barely surviving. Now, if I asked you which category would you like to be in, I know without having even met you, if you're ambitious, you're going to say number 1. If you're a modest person, you'll probably say category number 4, financially independent. But here's the really important question to ask yourself. If you don't change anything about what you're doing right now, which of these categories are you most likely to end up in? You see, that's why we want to help families, is because money is a long-term project that takes smart choices over a long period of time that takes you to a place that you really desire. And so we want to provide the education, but also then the plan on how you can actually implement that to start growing wealth, accelerate out of debt, get to a strong position so that you can build on that to change your financial future and the future of your family as well. So the third thing we then do is we want to save money and help families get better value for money in a range of different financial products and services. Now, before we look at that, let me just explain how we piece all of this together. So if you were my client, we would arrange a Zoom appointment. We do it online. And on that appointment, I'm going to introduce you to our financial concepts. It's a short presentation that takes 20 to 30 minutes. And at the end of that, I offer you a free financial plan. And if you want that, I have to gather up some financial information from you that helps me just gather the facts of where you are and where you're wanting to get to. So that appointment's probably going to take between an hour and an hour and a half. Then I'm going to do a little bit of work using the Genistar software to prepare your financial plan. And then on our second appointment that I do with you online, I then show you your financial plan that's really equipping you to change your financial future. So all of that process is probably going to take somewhere between 4 and 5 hours. So if you are helping a family a week, that's 4 to 5 hours a week where you can put that time into helping a family change their financial future. At the end of that second appointment, we then talk about the different products and services that are going to help that family either plug a gap, save them money, or get them better value for money. So they're listed here, and there's a big range of products and services. And what you'll notice is these are not niche products. These are not products that only a few people need. These are the kinds of things that every family is going to need on their journey and the different stages of life. And so we want to help families with mortgages and protection and home insurance. It's not Genistar that provides these, but the partner companies that we work with that can then help our clients. So just to give you an idea of our scale, we work with an insurance company with Vitality when it comes to protection. So that's life cover and serious illness cover. And Genistar is now Vitality's #1 broker in the UK for providing them with more clients than any other brokerage in the UK. And that's impressive because Vitality are now the 3rd biggest insurer in the whole of the country. They're actually a multinational blue chip company. They're based in South Africa. They operate in the United States and China and other parts of Europe. And we're now their #1 provider of clients. And we've achieved this without any advertising. You will never hear Genistar on the radio or see us on the TV because we build our business through word of mouth recommendation. We want our clients to be so happy with the service we've provided and the value that we've added that they recommend us to other people that they know will benefit from the same service. Now, just to put a figure on that, we now have over £4 billion face amount life and serious illness cover. What that actually means is that if every one of our clients made a claim tomorrow from Vitality, that's how much money Vitality would have to pay out to all of our clients. That's big money, right? But this is big business. Financial services is the biggest sector of the UK economy. So just think about that. Genistar is one of the fastest growing businesses in the biggest sector of the UK economy, which means this is a fantastic opportunity. We found that during the lockdowns and the pandemic challenges last year, that people suddenly realized that they needed help with their finances. And they were also looking for ways of finding a way of making additional income because they couldn't necessarily rely on their job being something that was there for life. And so we're growing right now. We need to build a team of more people to go and help all the families that need our help. So there are part-time income opportunities and full-time business opportunities, and we're interviewing right now. And this is actually the 4th way that we help families become debt-free and financially independent. You see, your financial position right now is a product of just 2 things: how much money you earn and how much money you spend. So we want to help families with budgeting and cutting out some of the fat from their budget so that they spend less. But we also have an opportunity for people to earn more, increase their earning potential. And let's face it, when we do a job, we tend to just get stuck at a level where we can't earn anymore. We might get a 1% pay rise, supposedly in line with inflation year by year, but it's very difficult to keep getting year on year a big increase in our earnings. So we want to help families who are frustrated that they perhaps know that they have the ability to earn more, but can't actually achieve that. So there's a way that people can come and work with us and earn an extra income. Now, there's 2 ways of doing that. The first is that you go and help a family on your own. So you learn how to be a Genistar rep, you do a financial plan for the family, and when you introduce the products and services, we get paid commissions. So it's an immediate income for helping families personally. But do you remember the conversation I had with John Flynn, who came to see me, the founding vice president? He said that if I built a team and I trained and empowered them, I also receive an additional income for the work that my team are doing because I'm supervising them. So now I can leverage my time because I can actually not only make an income from the work I do, but I get a supervisory income for the work that gets done. And that's very different. Now, before we get into the sort of detail of this, I just wanted to introduce you to an amazing lady who's got incredible success in our business right now. She's called Joyce Agbor. Joyce, are you there? You're going to have to put your camera on. And I don't know whether the technical guys can highlight Joyce on the screen right now. But Joyce, thank you so much for joining us. I'd love you just to share your story for a couple of minutes, what you were doing before you were introduced to Genistar, where you are, your Genistar journey, and what's exciting you about the future.
Thank you, Roger. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Joyce Agbor, like Roger said. I joined Genistar in February 2018. Prior to joining Genistar, I was a business analyst. But way before becoming a business analyst, I was training to be a medical doctor. So I was studying medicine, doing really well. A few months before I graduated, I had an accident, which meant that I couldn't go on and finish that. So that journey ended and I had to kind of start over. I went through treatments and then I had short-term memory problems after the accident. So I didn't go back to medical school. I went and studied marketing with business and I started working, but I wasn't satisfied. I felt like I had missed my purpose, I missed my calling. So I worked in payroll first of all. And because there was that thing where I felt that I wasn't meeting fulfilling purpose. I worked really hard, worked my way up to payroll, studied, got every diploma that I could find, worked my way up, managed payroll for a few big organizations, multinational companies, hated it, got bored, and then decided to retrain. So while I was I worked at Starbucks, so I managed the payroll for a little bit. While I was doing that, we had a big project transformation, and I played a very active role with the IT team, and I decided, oh, maybe I need to specialize in something else. So I went and retrained and became a business analyst. So started to work as a business analyst. That was quite good in the beginning. It was exciting, a different career path. I was contracting, so I was earning quite a good income as well. But again, there was this dissatisfaction. I wasn't happy. So while I was my last contract, which was in 2018, I met and became friends with the lady that introduced me to Jenister. So she invited me for Jenister's conference. That was the time when people met face to face. The 2018 conference was somewhere in West London. I live all the way in East London. I had to go to West London on a Saturday morning by public transport. There were all sorts of closures. It was a wet and windy day. And I remember going and sat on the train thinking, where am I going? Why am I even going to this place? It's a horrible day, having to get a replacement bus to places that I'm not even familiar with. Anyway, I got there in the end. Took me quite a bit of time, but I got there and she took me into the hall. I remember walking in and all I saw was a group of people, all of them very excited, everyone really happy. And I thought, wow, just the joy, the excitement and the joy coming from the people drew me. I said to her, I don't know what you guys do, but I want to be a part of this. So she said, well, why don't you sit down and hear a little bit more about us? Because I'd come from so far, I only sat down for half an hour, but I made up my mind there and then I was going to join. In fact, I was ready to sign up there. But she made me come back for a business overview in West London again, but not as far as the first one. And when I went for the business overview, I just went ahead and signed and joined the company. For me, when I joined, I didn't even understand fully what Jenister did. It was that there was the emptiness inside me that I had carried for a long time since the accident, which when I met this group of happy people, I just felt drawn. It was something internal that drew me to Jenister. But then I joined and I started to learn what the company did and I started working with people. And I found that all of a sudden I was fulfilling that purpose that I felt I'd lost when I couldn't become a medical doctor. Now I was sitting down with people, I was consulting with them about their finances, helping them to not even reach the place where they'll have to go see a doctor and getting paid for that. And then having the flexibility of doing it in my own time. And to me, it's when I started actually doing it, it just ticked all the boxes. And personally, it really helped me as a person. It brought my life back on track in terms of finding purpose and fulfilling purpose. And I've been with the company since 2018, haven't looked back since then.
That's amazing, Joyce. So you've gone on quite a journey and you now work full-time in Jenister?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Terrific. That's fantastic. And I think you're soon to be an EVP, become an executive vice president. So huge congratulations, Joyce, on your success and your achievements. And,
thank you.
You know, the exciting thing is that the best is yet to come for you. So thank you so much, Joyce, for sharing your story.
Thank you, Richard.
Let me just share with everybody now that sort of journey in a bit more detail that Joyce has gone on. This is really the different stages that we take people through if they want to do like Joyce and start to work very part-time in the beginning to learn a new craft in financial services, helping families in this way. So this first step is to become an introducer, and an introducer in Jenister is someone that can actually be quite passive. You know, it's learning how to open up the door and introduce people to this amazing service we provide that helps families really change their financial future. So you can simply introduce people that you know to a licensed Jenister rep who can go and actually help and do their financial plans. And you can make a commission for doing that. Now, this is based on what we're paying out at the moment. If you're introducing maybe one person a week, then you'll probably be expected to earn somewhere between £250 to £500 a month. But bear in mind, this isn't you actually doing the appointments. You're simply arranging them between you and the Jenister rep. There are a lot of people that say, well, actually, I'd like to learn how to do this. I want to become license. Now, remember, we're authorized by the Financial Conduct Authority, so we have to take you at that point through a training program that enables you then to be competent and confident at dealing with families and doing their financial plans. But now your commission goes up, it increases because you're actually taking on more responsibility and dealing with the clients yourself. So if you are helping one family a week, then you can typically be earning £500 to £1,000 a month. And for most people, that would completely transform the financial trajectory that they're on for their future. After that, you can start to do what I learned to do when John Flynn sat down with me and build a small team. And the first promotion is to team leader, where you have a team of 3 people and you start working together, you train them, you supervise them, but now you're getting 2 sources of income, one from the work that you're doing and one from the work that your team is doing. So you can actually double what a rep would typically earn. We then have 2 more part-time positions, senior team leaders and group leaders. So usually these people are in work still, but also now developing a bigger team. And some are making that transition. So Joyce is a group leader. She's soon to become an executive vice president, but she's now full-time and ready to take the vice president contract. And this is where now you take ownership for your business, you supervise your team from a compliance point of view, and you're mentoring and coaching your team to take the next step. So here we have an ownership program, and this is the exciting part because an executive vice president gets to own their own business. You can ultimately sort of sell your business back to the company as an asset. You can pass it on to your children. It can make you an income during retirement and even leave a legacy for those who are coming behind. John Flynn, who mentored me, he sadly passed away last year at the beginning of the first lockdown. Yet in the first 12 months after that time, his business generated for his family £50,000 for the year. That's quite an incredible legacy that he left behind just through the business of Genestar. We then have more senior positions, so senior vice presidents, national sales directors, senior national sales directors. The top people in our business right now are earning between £300,000 and £400,000 a year. Now, I don't say that to say that this is a get-rich-quick scheme. These are great leaders in the business who've been building their business for over a decade, and they started as introducers and became national sales directors. But I say it to just show you the opportunity that is available for who take this opportunity seriously and then build a business where they can now become a business owner. Here's just our leadership team. These are our executive vice presidents at the moment. And I want to show you this just because, first of all, you see it's a pretty even split, men and women. Secondly, it looks like the United Nations. It's a multinational team that we have. And there's also a really diverse range of backgrounds. If I just took the top row from left to right, the first person used to be a financial advisor, but he's the only one really who comes from that background. The lady next to him was an accountant. Then we have a lecturer, then a plasterer, then another accountant, then a car salesman, someone who worked on the shop floor of John Lewis, a teacher, and a nurse. And that's just a snapshot of the backgrounds. You see, we're not looking for people who are financial experts. We're looking for people who are hungry for an opportunity, who like helping other people. So what we've tried to do this morning is give you a flavor of our business. And there are 2 ways that you can now act on the information that you've been given. The first one is to book an appointment with the person that invited you so that they can actually put together a free complimentary financial plan for you. There's no charge for this. It's a free service. So why don't you text the person that invited you financial game plan, FGP. That's all you've got to text, 3 letters, FGP, if you'd like to actually benefit from the service. But some of you have actually come onto the call and you're thinking, well, you're right, I would like an opportunity to do something different, and you'd like to explore Genestar further. Well, the next step would be for you to book an interview, a one-to-one appointment now with the executive vice president and the person that invited you, so that you can, first of all, have your questions answered. And then you can also find out a little bit more about how you get paid, how you get trained and build a team, how you get promoted, and how you get clients. And we also need to check that you qualify to work with us because of the regulations within the Financial Conduct Authority. So on that appointment, what you're going to find is that there's no monthly subscriptions working in Genestar, and no targets that you have to hit month by month. There are no products that you have to buy personally, but there's a huge amount of support that's in place to help you succeed in your business. Once you've done that, you've got to pass the interview, but then you can complete the Genestar online business application. It's a short process, that takes 15 to 20 minutes to do. And for that, we require a couple of things. First, you've got to prove your identity and your right to work within the UK. So we take you through that. And then we also need a registration fee that is usually £140. And the reason for that is that it pays an administration charge for the background checks that we have to do. It's a bit like my wife. She does supply teaching from time to time. She has to pay for a DBS check annually. But with this registration fee, you pay it once and you never pay it again. After that, you'll have an orientation meeting, and then you get one-to-one mentorship to help you really expand and explode your business. Now, at the moment, there's a little bombshell announcement. The £140 has actually been reduced by 50% to £70 until the end of Wednesday, the 6th of October. So what I'd encourage you to do, if you are interested in this, is speak to the person that invited you and arrange that appointment as quickly as you can so that you can make your decision before this deadline ends. And in addition to that, anybody who qualifies as a team leader, once they've signed their business application in the next 90 days, then they actually receive £140 cash back. I've never known the business do this before, but this was in recognition really for the NHS and the key workers that got us through the pandemic in the last 18 months. So as we bring this to a close, look, Genestar was founded back in 2007 with three things in mind. The first was to give people the opportunity to become financially independent. The second was to provide a business where you could be your own business owner, that you're not under the thumb of anybody else in an employed situation. And the third was to do something really significant, changing the lives of families in the UK so that instead of living in debt and despondency, they can find hope and a new platform for their financial future. So huge thank you for being with us today. Really appreciate you taking the time. Please act on what you've heard today and hope to see you in business very soon.
Great job. And for those of you that are brand new, again, make sure that you talk with the person that actually invited you here. Thank you so much for joining us. And all of you that had guests on, make sure that you follow up with them and answer all their questions and help them through that journey from, I think I'm interested, to actually coming into business. So, okay. So what I'd like to do now is to go through the Personal Balance Builder Awards. And part of that is number 3 is Barbara Anderson. And what this is, if you look down at the bottom of your screen, you'll see it says Balance Builder points equals recruits times activated business. In other words, basically it's doing what Arvin and Charmaine did, recruiting, and then doing what Dolly did. Okay, so it's those two things combined together, getting both oars in the water so that you're actually going to your destination. Okay, so number 3, this is in the entire company for the second quarter of 2021. And then number 2 is Arvin Burgos. Again, it's so great here. Barbara Anderson, who you're going to be getting to hear from later, Senior Vice President. And then Arvin Burgos, National Sales Director. So I love what Charmaine said. She doesn't get all cut up on titles. She just keeps doing what got her there in the first place. And there's only one, number 1. And when you take all those and put them together, none other than Joyce Agbor. Congratulations, Joyce. You guys just got to hear from Joyce. Number 1, Personal Balanced Builder. So that's fantastic. And Joyce is going to talk to us. Joyce, are you here with us?
I am, Jeff.
Hello, Joyce. We're just, man, you're like a superstar. You know, I want to get your autograph.
Thank you, Jeff.
So, Joyce, congratulations again on all your success. You know, what I love about your work ethic is incredible. And you decided to not take the executive vice president level yet. But again, you're just building a very strong team. And when you do come out as an EVP, you're going to come out roaring like a lion, that's for sure. So Joyce, we're going to turn it over to you. And one of the things that I want to say about you, you've been acting like an EVP before you ever became an EVP. So over to you, Joyce. second time in a row builder. So that was fantastic, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks. So thank you so much, Jeff. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. Congratulations, and thanks to all the leaders that have gone on before me. I had a PowerPoint. Apologies, I just need to share screen. So I'm going to be talking about acting like an EVP before becoming an EVP. And to start my presentation, I just wanted to talk about a saying that I read somewhere on the internet. It said, when you want to succeed as, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you'll become successful. So I read that and I thought, okay, I'm going to speak to everyone about AIR, AIR. So my talk today about becoming an EVP is just going to focus on those points. And the A is just for activity. So how we act like an EVP before becoming an EVP, you have to lead from the front. So attend trainings, be the first person at training, fast at schools, being at big events, and having a do it first attitude. Don't sit back and wait for the team to do stuff. You go ahead and do it, and the team will follow you. Obviously, the activity we hear all the time about 8, 5, 3, 2, 1. As a leader, it's up to us to lead that. If you're doing 8, 5, 3, 2, 1, and you tell your team, they'll follow suit. If you're part-time, you're doing half of those numbers. The other thing is to stay coachable. Charmaine said earlier, the title is just, that's what it is, it's a title. So acting like an EVP before you become AVP doesn't mean that you go off to do things by yourself because you're this amazing, wonderful person now. Stay coachable to your upline. So I still go to my upline, I'll talk to him, ask questions, and just make sure that I'm on the right track. And I've carried on with my daily accountability as well. I've been sending in my accountability for the past 12 months now to my upline. Doing that has kept me focused, it's kept me disciplined, and it's kept my business on track. So acting like an EVP before you get to an EVP, you need to keep doing that as well. Stay accountable to someone and also improve communication skills. So in this respect, we're talking about BOMs, interviews, sharing your story. The first time I ever spoke on a BOM was when I was a senior team leader. I was blessed and to be under a supervisor. My supervisor, EVP Bevin, called me out. That was when we did the BOM for our base shop face to face. He just called me and said, "Oh, you're going to be sharing your story today." I panicked. I was scared and really nervous about doing it. But I went ahead and I shared my story. It wasn't the best, but it was a start. The next time I had to do it, I felt a bit more confident. And then it carried on like that to the point where I would share my story and some of the guests would come out after the BOM to speak to me and ask me more questions. But it started with that first time. And, I keep doing it now. I keep being given the opportunity, and I know that I'm practicing for before I get to EVP. And the I in the air is inspiration. So as an EVP, your upline, before you get to EVP, even after you get to EVP, your upline is your lifeline. We have to keep plugged into the upline for inspiration and then use that to inspire my team. And then reading books, watching videos, encouraging the team to do likewise. At the moment, there's all sorts of inspirational videos on YouTube that we can watch. Personally, at the moment, I'm really watching a lot about Primerica grades and watching lots of YouTube videos about them and learning. The person that's inspiring me the most at the moment is a lady called Mika Saunders in Primerica. She's an NSD. She went into Primerica within 6 years. She was earning over 1.5 million. I find her so inspiring. She's just going out and breaking all sorts of records in Primerica. So Jeff, the name is Mika Sanders, so hopefully you get her to speak to us sometime. But jokes aside, she's a very inspirational person. There are others like Eric Thomas, Ed Milet. There's lots of other people. I do watch their videos to get inspiration, and I encourage the team to do likewise, because none of us know it all. It's about building that mindset and continuous growth, like Garrett said earlier. And then the other thing is to keep your personal activity high. Now I keep my activity level really high, and I keep my results high as well, because I know that inspires the team. I've been go-getter for the past 12 months now, and initially that wasn't planned. I did it because I was trying to get blue vest. Then I got the blue vest, and I saw the impacts that it was having on my team. So I just took on the responsibility to keep going for that. And now, you know, 4 of the people that were on the list that got their 140 back, they are all a part of my team. They got go-getter. We've trained them they've come in with the belief that this is something that should be done. When we set our goals for the month, everybody's going for go-getter, but that's because I kept doing it. It's inspired them to do it as well, and it's made them believe that they can do it because they're seeing me do it all the time. So that's why it's good to keep your activity high. The hour of the air is talking about responsibility, the responsibility of being a leader, acting like an EVP before you become EVP. So you need to know your numbers. If you're going for, whether you're going for a promotion or it's a team member's promotion, you want to know where you are at every point. Okay, this is a 4-week month. Where are we? This is week 1. Looking on the leaderboard as well. Again, my supervising EVP, Bevin, he studies the leaderboards. I remember even before I got to team leader, Bevin would get me to sit down there. This is the leaderboard. Where's your name? What do you have to do to get on there? Why is your name not on there? So he coached me. He put he taught me to do that, and that's helped me to grow, to keep my results consistent. And with the team as well, I teach them the same. It does help so that there's no the last minute panic. We can avoid that towards the end of the month because we're working constantly throughout the month. Your personal activity, again, I spoke about that earlier. So I know that my activity is very important, but also assisting team members. We had lots of promotions last month. We have a group leader in the team now, is to help them get their promotion as well, and then helping the wider team. I'm still a part of Team Infinity, which is Bevin's team. So it's not just supporting my team members, but it's supporting the whole team. And ultimately, if we all do well as a base shop, then it impacts the company's numbers and the company does well. That's your responsibility. That's my responsibility for acting as an EVP before EVP. Also, learning the new changes. The company is always releasing new things. We're going through a period now where we're having lots of changes, new developments. As a leader, it's your responsibility to get on there, learn it. So I'm always looking out. When something is announced, like on a fast start school, I'm expecting the release. I'm looking out for that. Once it's been released, I want to go on there, learn it, knowing that I have a responsibility to help my team understand it, to understand these changes. So, when the videos come out on Fridays, I will watch it. The Newsblast videos, I'd watch it and then share it with the team, and my group leader always shares it with the team. But what I do is if there's something there that I know will impact a specific team member differently from the others, I'll forward it to them. Do you understand? Do you need help with it? It's just to make sure that you're on hand to help your team as a leader, and then to keep developing and improving your skills. There's something Jeff always says, if you're not green and growing, you're ripe and rotten. It's up to us to keep growing, keep developing as leaders, because if you're not growing, then you lose confidence, and you can't be a good leader if you're not confident in helping your team. And then obviously, part of your responsibility is file checking, compliance. This is all in preparation for becoming an EVP. But even before you get there, I'll check your team members' work. I do that all the time. When they submit policies, they let me know. I go in there and check if there's something we need to talk about to correct. We have a chat, we correct it, so that before it gets to the EVP, we've done our checks and we're confident that the work is good enough and it's going to pass compliance, because again, we're in a regulated business. And just to round up, I'm going to leave you with the story about responsibility. So I joined Genistar in 2018, like I said earlier, and then towards the end of our company is growing, there's always changes happening. So towards the end of 2018, there was some changes that were going on with the legacy system that we had there. So there was a lot that wasn't working right. There was no commission payments for a few months. And I remember going to Bevin, my upline EVP, complaining, mourning, criticizing about it. So he listened to me for a while, and then he said to me, "Who do you think Genistar is?" I was quiet. I was like, well, it's Janister. He said, so, but who's Janister? Listen, Janister is you. Janister is me. When you complain and criticize, you're criticizing yourself. And, you know, how does that sound to you, criticizing yourself? This is your business. And it made me really think. I thought, actually, that's true. I signed an independent business application. This is my business. It's a different way that I could have reacted to that change. I could have been excited. My business is growing. They're making changes, you know, so that the business can be better and more compliance. Instead, here I was complaining. That stayed with me, and I decided I was going to be more responsible for my business. I was going to take more responsibility for my business to make sure that it grew. Yes, IT and FSC are doing an amazing job. They'll do their bit, but I was going to, from that moment on, do my bit, which is to grow the business. So even when I've had personal issues happening, on the 27th of May, I had surgery, major surgery. I had to have radiotherapy after that. And then I was off the field for a few weeks. When I returned, June, July, August, every single week, I had 1 or 2 hospital appointments. I had to go into hospital once or twice every week. But I had a responsibility to keep my business running. I knew that no matter what was happening with me health-wise, I had to keep my business running, and I did that. I've got a very sick mother back home in Africa. She's only in her 60s. She had 2 strokes. She's got kidney failure. Me and my siblings have taken full responsibility for her. There's the stress of not being able to see her because we couldn't travel because of the pandemic. I've got all of that I'm worrying about, but I still have a responsibility to keep my business growing. And what I want to leave with you, team, is to take responsibility for your business. When you join Janister, you've made a commitment to grow a business and change your life. It is your responsibility to grow that business, not your uplines, not your team or your downline. It's not even Jeff's responsibility. It's not your partner's responsibility. It's your responsibility. If you take on that responsibility to grow your business, then you don't even need all the presentation I did about activity, inspiration, and all of that. The rest of all of that will fall into place because you've taken responsibility for your business. That's what it is to act like an EVP or an SVP or an NST or SNSD before you become one. It's just taking responsibility and getting your business to the next level. Thank you, Jeff, and back over to you now.
Thank you so much, Joyce. You know, as you were talking, I was thinking of a statement, and I'm just going to read it here. It says, obstacles are put in your way to see if what you want is really worth fighting for. And, you know, winners like you and all the other people that are on here, and the people that end up making it in our business, okay, you know, we all have obstacles. We all have bad days. You know, we all feel like, you know, just, you know, life is not fair at times. And again, to see how that you've fought your way through that, but continued to be a leader. I just have so much respect for you. And thank you so much, Joyce, for your tough-mindedness and your leadership. And congratulations on all your success so far. I think the best is yet to come for you.
Thank you so much.
All right, great. Well, listen, guys, I guess I've got Joyce's slides here as a little review, okay? That was really good. Air, I've never heard that before, Joyce, but it's really good on all those slides. So thank you. Okay, well, guys, I want to talk to you now about the MVP. That's the most valuable player of the quarter. And what this is basically people that have you know, been rowing with both oars, okay? And so the MVP is the number 1 top base shop in recruiting, number 1 top base shop in premium, and number 1 top base shop in what we call balanced builder. So it's the premium times the recruiting, and this is at the vice president level. And the most valuable player of Q2 is Steve Jenkins, number of IBAs 72, almost, well, 61,000 of premium. And if you take those and multiply them times that, then that actually comes up to over 3 million in builders points. And guys, this is the second quarter in a row that Steve has actually done this. In addition to that, top base shop, I just want to kind of go through these. Top base shop and recruiting. Number 3 is Bevan Wint with 46 IBAs. This was for Q2. It looks like Q3, Bev's on pretty much on track to be number 1. Betty Hammond, congratulations, Betty, 47 IBAs. And then in top base shop, by the way, number 1 was Steve Jenkins in that. Number 3 in top base shop, Dolly and William Bright. Number 2, Bevan Wint. And number 1 would have been Steve Jenkins. And then number 3 in the top base shop balance builder, so that's the premium times the actual business, or times the recruits, Daryl Harper. Number 3, Bevan Wint. Number 2, and Steve Jenkins, Senior National Sales Director. And Steve is in the studio with us, and Steve's going to be talking to us now about rowing with both oars. So Steve, over to you, and congratulations and thanks for your tremendous leadership.
Thank you, Jeff, and hello everybody. And I just want to start by saying happy birthday to SVP Henry Jubelin. Hope you're having a great day down there in South Wales. I hope the weather's as good as it is up here, and I hope you have a fantastic day with your family. So the theme of today has been about starting a new season, about getting it going if you haven't got it going. It's about, if you have got it going, keeping it going and making sure that as a group, as a team, as a company, we end up with a fantastic final quarter of the year. And today's the day that Gareth was talking about, that we need to make decisions to make that happen. And the key to having a successful business in Genistar is being able to row with both oars. You see, if you row with just one oar, you're going to go round in circles. And you need to row with both oars. And, here we go. Going the wrong way. Sorry about that. There you go. So you've got to row with both oars to go in a straight line. And the 2 oars that you can see on the screen right now, one represents recruiting and the other one represents writing business. There's no point in just recruiting and not doing the follow-up in order to get the financial game plans in place, because you're just going to be, you're not going to have anything coming out at the end of the pipeline. And if you're just focused on the writing of the business and you're not bringing new people into the business, then the business isn't expanding. So you have to learn how to get the rhythm of moving both of those oars at the same time. So I'm a firm believer that it starts with recruitment. Yeah, keeping the main thing the main thing. Because 3 new recruits will turn into 3 new financial game plans. Through what we call internal consumption, the 3 new people joining for training purposes at least, or because they want one anyway, they're going to be 3 new financial game plans done with the people on your team. But then what happens is that they have to get licensed, and in part of that licensing is getting their field training done. And 2 field training appointments, 2 financial game plans done from start to finish is what is required to get people partly trained. There's the other bits and pieces after that, obviously. So in total, you've now got 9 financial game plans. That's the 3 from the people that have joined your team, plus the 6 appointments that you've done in field training, gives you 9 in total. And from those 9 financial game plans, let's just say the conversion rate, and for most people like Joyce, who you've just heard from, her conversion rate will be over 80%, possibly 90%. But when you first start, let's just say 50% of those convert, and you've got £3,000 worth of annual premium that have come out of that pipeline from the recruits that you brought into your team. So from the 9 financial game plans also, and this is the key, this will stop your business yo-yoing and going up and going down and going up and going down, is that you need to learn the referral system. And the first part of that is on the scoop, the first appointment with a client. 18 steam leads will be received. That's 2 per financial game plan from the 9 financial game plans that you've done. Plus, we ask for 10 referrals. The average for the top performers is more than that. It's 15. But let's just say you're not experienced enough yet and you're getting 10 referrals from those 9 financial game plans. There's 90. So there's over 100 brand new contacts, brand new people to either introduce to see the business overview or to book them in for the financial game plan if that's what they prefer. So now you've got momentum because you're replenishing the clients that you've already seen with new ones coming from the referrals. So recruiting drives the business, and it's the desire for promotions from within your team that drives the premiums. And it's interesting that if you look at the top producing base shops in the company, they're the top recruiting base shops in the country. The top business writers tend to be the top recruiters also. And that's because the recruiting is the starting point to open more doors for your business to expand. So in summary, very, very simple, I want you all to right now to do me a favor. Be coachable just for 30 seconds with me. And I want you with your notebooks that you've got in front of you, or if you're using an electronic device, type it. I want you to put just one thing you'd like to achieve by the end of this year. Maybe you want to do something special for Christmas. Maybe you want to do a weekend away or a trip abroad if that's possible. Maybe you want to buy a special Christmas present for your loved one or your family. Maybe you want to be debt-free by the end of the year. What a great goal that would be. Whatever the goal is, I want you to write it down. Just one thing to achieve by the end of the year. Maybe it's a promotion. Maybe you want to become a team leader. Maybe you want to get go-getter. Blue Vase is possible because we've got October, November, and December. You know, it's interesting, Jeff and Mark talking about the trip next year to South Africa. We haven't got all the detail of that, but I can assure you, those that start today are the ones that are going to get ahead in the competition to win that trip. Maybe that's your goal, to go on safari in South Africa. Whatever it is, write it down. Now. Yes, right now. Write that down and just look at it. And now ask yourself, do I really, really want to achieve this goal? And if you do, the next step's very simple. Put together a list of people to call. Invite them to take a look at the business. Invite them to get a financial game plan. And then follow the scripts that we use to get referrals and open up new doors. And from there, you've got a business that will give you the income you need to achieve your goals and dreams. Thanks very much for listening. I'm going to pass you back over to Jeff.
Thank you, Steve. And, Steve, as one of the founders, in Genistar, you were here from the beginning. And thank you to you as well as all the other founders. And I got to tell you, I'm really excited about your next speaker. Barbara Anderson recently got promoted to Senior Vice President. And what is so great about Barbara is, guys, she is like this close. I mean, very, very close to hitting the 100,000 pound club. That means 100,000 income within a 12-month period. And one of the things I love about Barbara, she was one of the founders of the company. And as I look back on the time that I've known Barbara now for almost 18 years, and I look back on 18 years ago and 14 years ago, and really even 5 or 6 years ago, this woman is not the same woman that she was. And just to see her grow, which is what we all want. We all want to grow. And what's so fantastic, she's always positive, and Barbara's one of my best friends. We all have people that we call up to talk to kind of encourage us. Barbara's one of those people, if I ever get down, I go, Barbara, I'm having a tough day. And by the time I get done talking to Barbara, I just feel like going and conquering the world. And she is just an incredible leader. I'm so grateful for her leadership here at Genistar. She's also with us here in the studio. And thank you, Barbara, for your tremendous commitment. And I'm going to turn it over to the awesome Barbara Anderson. Barbara, over to you.
Thank you so much. Hey, guys, hasn't this been wonderful? I mean, I'm so excited. They all laugh about my excitement, but guys, I'm telling you, I know he said I've grown. I have lost weight, actually. So I haven't grown in terms of size. That's not what he means, all right? But I'm just so excited to be here, and I'm hoping that you've learned something. I'm hoping that you've seen this now as a vehicle to help you to achieve the goals and the dreams that we've been talking about here. Guys, It's amazing. It is so amazing, the journey that we are on. And I'm just so excited to be able to share my journey with you as to how I got here. And here is one of the things about what we're going to talk about today. It's not because I'm any better. I'm just more focused than a lot of people. I've got great desires. I'm not competitive, but I love to win. That's who I am. I love winning. How about you? Don't you like to win? I love winning. And I know I get lots of stick about Arsenal right now, but hey, that's only a phase 2. But guys, listen, it is just amazing where we're at and where we're heading. And we're hoping that you'll want to be part of this journey with us today. So let me take you a little bit through my story and my journey here at Jenny Star. So I've been here, as Jeff mentioned, I'm one of the founders. I've been here from day one. In fact, I started out in our old company and my daughter was 3 years old when I started. So I've been here a long time. I've kind of grown up around the business. I know I look fab at 50. You thought I started at 6, but I know I look great at 50. But this has just been one of those things where, you got to become a better you become a better person as you grow and you're around these people. Guys, that's what I love about some of the speakers today. They're my friends and they're people that, have helped to encourage me. There are people here who, they're constantly encouraging you to go the next mile. And that's what's so beautiful about being here. And I've grown up seeing what poverty was like. I don't know about you, but I came from poverty, guys. Things were tough. And as I go through and I share with you this journey, I want you to just consider what could happen for you. If you're really serious this morning and you've got enough desire, I want to show you what is possible for you. So let me talk you through my Jenny Star journey. So I am one of the founders, as Jeff mentioned. And it took me a little while, I didn't just go off running. And I think that's one of the things I want you to see today, that not everybody hits it straight away. Some people, it takes a little bit of a time to make it happen. So from 2007, guys, it took me to 2018 to produce my first executive vice president, meaning promoting somebody to my position of ownership in the business. That's how long it took me to actually get there. So one of the things I learned in that process is patience. Patience, guys. So once I'm pushing and I'm wondering why hasn't it happened yet? I had to learn to be patient. But then here's what happened. In October 2018, the same year, we have produced another 2. I produced number 2 and number 3. Then here's what happened. Disaster struck in 2019, June 2019. One of my vice presidents decided she wanted a sabbatical. She was going to take a roll back. Still a very good friend of mine. Love her to bits. Still, we still get on like a house on fire. But, she realized it wasn't her journey. So she decided to take the step back. Took me another year, guys. June 2020, I then produced the 4th one. So again, I'm just showing you here what's happening. And it took me a month after that to become a senior vice president. What did I learn in that process, guys? Perseverance. You got to persevere. And it's so funny because if you look at patience and you look at perseverance, guys, one of them is saying slow down. And one of them is saying push all the time, keep pushing. That's the thing about it. It's like 2 contradictory words and you got to find a balance between those 2 words. So this is what's happening, patience and perseverance. So wherever you are right now in your journey, if you're in Jenny Star or you're not in Jenny Star, think about what you need to learn in order to take you to the next point. So here are some of the things that have happened along the way. People say I don't have enough time. That might just worry about you, Barbara, I'm so busy. Guys, when I started the business, I was a single mother. I was working full-time as an accountant in the city. I was working part-time 2 evenings a week. I was going to college 2 evenings a week. My daughter was 3, guys, so I had no time. So let me ask you something. Let's reflect on the time that you have in the week. You get 168 hours in a week. No more, no less. That's what you're going to get. You can't add, you can't subtract. That's what's going to happen. You get 56 hours for sleep. And I know you said, yeah, I need my full 8 hours. Nobody I know sleep 8 hours. Only lazy people. The Bible says, love not sleep lest thou fallest into poverty. So I've learned to minimize the amount of time that I'll sleep, all right, whilst I'm growing. Now, I love my mornings. For those of you who know me, my alarm don't go off before 9:30, right? So don't call my phone before 10 o'clock. All right? So I go to bed late, but I enjoy my line. 56 hours you get for sleep. How about work? You got your job, you got your business, so allocate your traveling time, you prep for work, 60 hours. How much time that leaves you? 52 hours. What do you do with those 52 hours? Let's break it down a little more. 20 hours is family time. Don't lie. Some of you don't like your family. Some of you don't spend no time with your family, but you're like, you're going to spend time with the kids, and you try and hide from the kids. But anyway, we'll allocate 20 hours for your family time. It leaves you 32 hours in a week. All right? So from those 32 hours, just socializing, you're cleaning, you're shopping and all of those things. So you look at that, take 15 hours, you have 17 hours remaining. What do you do with that time? What do you do with 17 hours? And I promise you that if you were to go through this exercise, you will see the amount of time that's filtering away that you don't know what happens to that time. What if you could maximize that time, guys, and raise your income? What if you could maximize that time and use it as a way of planning strategically for the next leg of your journey? So you haven't got enough time. Of course you have enough time. What did I learn? I learned time management. My awesome friend Steve Jenkins, he was the one who actually invited me when the company started, Jenny Star was going to get going. He rang me and invited me. Steve and I hadn't spoken in our old company. Steve rang me up and invited me to a meeting. When I said to Steve during the times of struggles that, Steve, I don't have the time, he asked me to do an exercise. He said, put everything you have to do down on one side of a sheet of paper, and then on the other side, put everything you could ask someone else to do. So you know what happened? Everything went on one side. There was nothing in my life that I felt that I could ask somebody else to do. I had to call my daughters here. I said, nope, you could pay somebody to do that. I need to do the cleaning. No, you could pay somebody to do that. Steve, I haven't got no money though. He said, you just got to learn to figure it out, Barbara. That's what I love about Steve. Steve always tells you, you'll figure it out. You're smart enough, you'll figure it out. So guess what? Now I can pay somebody to do the cleaning. Cleaning is £10 per hour. Even if it's £15 per hour, guys, you create employment for someone else and you free up your time to go and create and do what God has destined you to do. So you learn to manage your time, and that's what I've done. Here's one of the things I'm good at. You hear I speak quickly. So one of the things that I'm good at, even though I talk about patience, I've not been a very patient person because I can do it myself and I can do it quicker and I can do it faster. I know how it's done. That's me. I can do the training myself. I can answer all the questions that everybody asks me. I can do all the power hours, and our power hours, if you become a part of the business, if you're not, you know what our power hours are. I can be all things to all men. If somebody asks me to drop them somewhere, I'll be there. Somebody call me up to give me an earful about something they're going through, I can do all of that. But here's one of the things I've had to learn during this process of growing. I've had to learn to delegate. Delegate was never one of my strongest points because I can do it all myself and I can do it quicker. I've had to learn, and I'm still learning. So don't think I've arrived. I'm still learning. The day you stop learning and growing is the day you start dying, guys. So I've learned how to delegate. Now think about it. I've put some of my awards up there to show you because I know how to do it myself. I don't wait for other people to do something for me. I mean, in fact, I can't swim. Guys, I must be the only Jamaican who cannot swim. I'm rubbish. Don't put me near water except to shower. I can't swim. But here's one other thing about it. I know how to win. I know how to win. I know how to go out and create a winning environment. And some of those are just some of the things that I've achieved because I can do it myself, but I've also had to learn to bring others on the journey. It's not been easy because I know I can go out and create money myself on my own, but I've had to learn how to bring others on the journey with me as well. That's it. I know how to do it. I know how to do it all. That's not true though, is it? We don't know how to do everything because this is what happened. There are people who know more than I do. There are people who know more than you do. Are you willing to learn from those people? There are people in the company who earn more than I do. All right? There are all of these things that are happening at the same time. There are people with less experience than I have who earn more money than I do in the business. But I call them up and I ask them for coaching. I ask them for their thoughts. I ask them for their opinion. I ask them for their guidance. Guys, let me tell you something about me. If you ever see me in any meeting, I've got a notebook. It doesn't matter who's speaking. If I ask one of my team members to do training, I've got my notebook because I'm open to learning from everybody. Somebody just might say a word and it just make a difference to your future. So you should always be prepared to do something about it. What did I learn in the process? I learned humility and coachability. You can't ever get too big that you lose humility, guys. People who get somewhere and stop being humble, guys, that's this first sign that you're going to fall from that pedestal that you're on. Those of you who know me know I can have a laugh, I can have fun, I want to still be part of the crew. I've got to learn to be a leader, because as a leader, you got to be out front to direct the pack, but you also got to be in the pack as well to be able to see what's going on. And I've learned those things. I've learned how to still be a friend to my team. I've still learned to be a friend to the people who've been there for me. I've got to learn to do those things. Systems. You know, they talk about personality types. And even in the Bible, there are 4 personality types in the Bible. All right? So one of the things about it is I'm an A-type person. I'm very action-driven, man. I don't want to learn how it works. How many of you have ever tried building up flat pack furniture? I'm rubbish at it. When I'm done, there are 50 screws left that I don't know where they go. I'm rubbish at it. So guess what? I've got to learn to create systems, because it's all in here. Guys, when we die, this goes with us unless we have put it somewhere for somebody to pick it up. That is why you create other leaders to replace you. And that is what I've had to do. I've had to learn to create systems that other people can follow. I'm not always going to be there to tell them everything. Checklists, weekly planners, logs for monitoring, meeting the team in groups so that I can show people how to duplicate me. Sustainability, that's what I've learned. Because if you're not doing that, your business will not be sustainable. What about when you're sick? Guys, let me tell you something. Right now, we have lots of people who tell me, hey, I'm okay. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Write the word B-R-O-K-E on a piece of paper, broke. What are the 2 letters before the E? Okay. That's what broke people say all the time. I've never met a wealthy person who tell me they're okay. I've never met a person who's striving for success who tell me they're okay. Broke people will always tell you they're okay because they've had enough. They have got enough right now. That's not enough. None of us has got enough. Jeff, my CEO, is a multimillionaire. He's not got enough. Richard Branson hasn't got enough. Jeff Bezos hasn't got enough, because if they had enough, they could fix the problems in the world. None of us has got enough. So here's what we could do. We create systems that other people can duplicate. And guess what? It's like passing the baton on. It's a multiplication effect. That's about sustainability. Something to carry on when you're no longer here. If you come back here 5 generations from now, will you be remembered? Will anybody remember you? Will you have done anything that somebody's going to say, yeah, great grandma Barbara was here, or great whatever your name is? Will they remember you were here? In fact, the question I want to ask is, do you know the name of your great grandmother or grandfather? Chances are the answer is no, because they never did anything significant, guys. You've got to be a person of significance. If you're listening to me today, I want you to go back this evening and think about what impact you're going to be creating on others. Set standards. Don't compare yourself with others. Here's what others' lives are about. They're for you to see what is possible. You're not going to be the next person. There was a job that needed to be done, and God said only you could do it. So He created you. He didn't give it to any of my colleagues that you heard before. He didn't give me your job. The next person sitting next to you right now, He never gave them your job. He gave it to you. So you got to set standards that you're going to be willing to live by. Don't break your own rules. Don't break your own standards. Every time I break one of my own rules, guys, I regret it. But here's also one of the things that I do. I don't beat up myself because I can't fix the past. I can learn from it. So set standards, follow system. How about expectations? Operate from principle and not emotion. Women are emotional, right? You all agree. We are emotional people. We complain about how we could do. We talk about how we could do it better. And we could bring up other people's children better. One of my beautiful vice presidents, Sharon Gordon, told me something her mom always tell her. Always said, don't talk about other people's kids. Yours hasn't stopped growing yet. Because everybody believes they can do it better than you can do it. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Never do the right thing for the wrong reason. It is so easy at times to do things as the right thing, but the reason you're doing it is not right. Do it because it's the right thing to do. Not because, I'll do it, but. If it's the right thing to do, don't do it. Don't ever add but. Anything that you add but after, you don't agree with it. If you ever have to add but after it, you don't agree. Here's what I've learned, guys. I've learned integrity. I want people to remember me for a person of integrity. I want when I say something, I can say something to you, I can say to the next person. And if you go behind my back and ask them what did Barbara say, they will tell you the same thing. One thing about me, guys, is anything I'm going to say about you, I can tell it to your face. My team will tell you, Barbara is so straight up. Oh my God, I do it in training. I do it everywhere. I don't hide and go tell somebody what you've said and what you've done. I'm telling you to your face how I feel about it. Be a person that somebody can know that what you say is what you mean, guys. Integrity is a big thing, and it's a big part of our lives. I want to share my financial journey with you. On the one side, what hand is this? Left. You listen, I'm rubbish. I failed maths 4 times. You're going to have to forgive me here. The yellow side, and I'm sure you might not be able to see it properly, is a letter that I got. Actually, it was an email from a payday loan company I took a loan from many years ago. I was going through stuff and I was trying to find some stuff. And they were asking me for £66, guys. That was when I was broke. So broke, I was taking payday loans just to survive, just to keep the mortgage. You know, you take a payday loan and they charge you so much interest and you're trying to pay it back and you try to find another company. Guys, I have been there. But I'm sharing a bank statement with you, and that was my August bank statement. That was 30 days. £11,625.37. That's my screenshot of my Barclays bank statement. The reason I share this with you is to tell you that you can do it too. Guess what? You're going to have to get to work though. Too many people want good things that they don't want to work for. There's something I learned in school. It was heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards through the night. Do you envy other people for what they've got, but you're not willing to do the work for it? Guys, I share this with you to tell you that Jenny Star works. If you're willing to work, I can't tell you about any other business. And I'm sure you're going to tell me, yeah, there's all these super duper things out there. That's cool. I'm not going to tell you don't do it. That's all right. You do what you need to do. But I can only tell you about my one. I know it's legal. I know it's got credibility. I know it's going places. And I know one day there are going to be some people who said, man, I heard about this Jenny Star thing and I didn't. And we're all millionaires. And they thought about when they had a chance to have been here when we're this small. Guys, we're still this small. But we're growing. Are we going to be a household name? The question is, are you going to be part of that journey with us as well? I want you to meet my hierarchy vice presidents. I've got myself there as a senior vice president. I've got the lovely Sharon Garden, Sylvia Kuntroth, all the way over in Austria. That's the beautiful thing about our business. Sylvia has been in Austria for a year now since her mom passed away, and she hasn't been able to come back because of lockdown, and she can still run her business from there. That's the beautiful thing about Jenny Star and the awesome Sabida Sunaram. These are my 3 executive vice presidents. And here's what the future look like. I asked people recently, tell me, where do you want to go? And I had these people send me their pictures and tell me they want to be vice presidents. So you see they're a little lighter blue than the ones at the top. We've got a slot for you. Everybody that you've heard before today has got a space in their business big enough to accommodate you on whatever your dreams are. And it is a big enough space in there for you to create your own hierarchy. That's what Jenny Star is about. Jenny Star is so massive that there's a space for everybody and for everybody that you want to get to be part of that business. We're a family here, guys, and that's the beautiful thing about it. But do you know why you want to be successful? If you don't know why, it will not come. If you know why, how doesn't really matter. That's the thing about it. You know, I was speaking to my colleague Dolly, you know, outside earlier. We were talking about why we do what we do. Because guess what? First and foremost, you have a responsibility to your family. First and foremost. And then your community and the rest of the world. So do you know why you want to be successful? Do you know why you want more money? And if you don't know why, if you haven't got a compelling why, it ain't going to happen. I promise you that. I can't promise a lot of things, but I can promise you if you don't know why, then it's not going to happen. I want to give hope. That's what I'm about. I do compassion, and these are 4 kids that I've been supporting for years. I want to offer hope. I just look at Haiti and I'm taking on a few more children. I want to do something that is going to make a difference to the future of others. How about impact? Currently, I do lend with care. You might not be able to see that, the amount of loans I've lent, the amount of lives I've impacted, and the amount of income and jobs I've created for people across the world. And here's the thing about it, I never take the interest back. As soon as the interest comes in, I look on it and I lend it out to others. I keep multiplying. I keep trying to change life, guys. Impact. They say your income determines your impact, and your impact determines your income. Financial freedom. I'm not there yet. I'm still on a journey. And I'm sure if you speak to my CEO, I'm an awesome coach, Jeff. Jeff will tell you he's not financially free yet because he can't fix the problems of the world. That's what we always go back to. Do you have enough money that you can change the problems in the world? If not, you're still growing. I want to leave a legacy. I want to be remembered. I want somebody to remember that Barbara passed this way. How about you? This little young lady here is my wife. She was 3 years old, as I mentioned, when I started the business. I was joking earlier with Dolly's little boy, and I said, my daughter used to be like you. She used to want to be in everything. She used to be everybody's friend. Now she's, a little more grown up. She's not into all of those things. But I want to leave a legacy. I want her children's children to still live well and still continue to have impact when I'm no longer here. Why? Do you know why? Let me tell you something else. You got to set goals and you got to have fun. The Bible says good for a man to enjoy the fruits of his labor. Remember the word labor. If you don't labor, there are no fruits. But it's good to enjoy them and enjoy what you have worked for. Last year, I saw a lady in a white Range Rover and I said, I want to get myself a Range Rover, And I took a picture and I made a goal. And you know what? We always talk about having a clear, concise mental picture and having pictures. I've never been driven by pictures. They talk about the carrot on the stick, and you got to figure out, are you a carrot person or you a stick person? I've always been a stick person. I struggle with thinking about if I couldn't pay my bills, what would happen? That pains me so much more that I have to go and make sure I have money. So you got to figure out if it's the pain that's driving you, or is it going to be the house on the hill? What drives you? So I love this Range Rover, and I decided to put it in a picture. For the first time, I actually created pictures. Guys, I changed the color. That's okay, but I got it on the 7th of July. And I realized that pictures work. If it's even just to say that I don't like debt, I don't like poverty, I don't like not being able to pay my bills, all of these things, guys, take a picture of a bank statement of what you'd like to have for you not to worry. So work backwards with your goals here. The next thing I said to myself is I promised my daughter a long time ago. In fact, when she was about 5 years old, she said to me, I want to see the Golden Gate Bridge, Mommy. It's a little bit off now, but anyway. So I know it's a different part. But listen, we just booked to go to Los Angeles. Yeah? Booked to go to Los Angeles. Guys, set goals and involve your children in your goals. Because guess what? Do you think my daughter's going to let me forget that we were going to go somewhere? Guys, it's like 15 years later, she's 20 now, and she still tells me. I said, okay, all right, she want to go LA now. She's not too keen on the Golden Gate Bridge anymore. But this is it. I've made plans with my daughter, and I've gone ahead, and I've booked it for the 5th of October. These are two of my nieces. My mom is really unfortunate. I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate. She has all granddaughters, no grandsons. I don't know who's going to give her a grandson. But anyway, these two little ladies are my two little nieces, and they live in the south of France. And I've promised them to take them to Disneyland Paris. And guess what, guys? I've gone ahead and I've booked it. You involve the people you love. It's not just about making all this money, guys. It is. But it's also, what are you doing with it? How are you changing lives? How are you letting others know what is possible? You don't have to be in poverty, Stop saying it's okay, guys. Remember the word broke. That's what broke people talk about all the time. They say they're okay. Set goals. I don't know what your goals are right now, but I do things that make me happy. I do things that make me smile. I don't do them for others because it's what others are doing. I do them because that's what I feel driven to do and led to do, and it makes me smile. What makes you smile right now, guys? What is it that's making you smile right now? And then, you see I'm wearing the ring, right? Jeff just tell you I'm working on it. So I've taken a picture of it. In fact, I should have taken his one off his finger because the one on the other side is the £1 million. So I'm going for the 100 and I'm going for the million. And I'm going to be here to share the story with you again in the future because this is just a chapter in my story. This is not my story. It's just a chapter. It's just a snippet of what has happened so far and what is yet to come. I want to share this with you. And the reason I share this with you is that's a picture of my old high school. It's still there in Jamaica. It's called Raci's. And there was a French refugee who ended up there in the 1700s by the name of Martin Rassis. And when he passed away, he left his estate and said, we want you to create a school for young people. I put my school logo and emblem up there because at the bottom there's something. And please forgive me if my Latin is not very good because I'm Jamaican, right? So it says, Labor omnia vincit. Labor conquers all. I took a picture of my 50th birthday of me coming down the stairs because a girl who's come from a little place in Jamaica called Hanover grew up in poverty. Her mom had one pair of shoes that she wore to church on a Sunday and I wore it to school Monday to Friday. That girl has now changed and has decided that she is going to be the change maker. She is going to be the one that's going to make a difference to her family, the next generation, and to the world. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'll be the first millionaire in my family. I'm telling you that. I'm writing it down. It's written in stone somewhere that this is going to happen. Why not you? There's someone waiting to share your story to inspire them on their journey. Barbara has just shared with you today what is possible. So whatever your dreams and whatever your aspirations and whatever you want, guys, I'm telling you, just go for it with everything you have within you. There are going to be naysayers. There are always going to be people telling you it's not possible. They're always going to tell you that. But I'm telling you right now, don't listen to them. Because if God wanted you to have their journey, he'd have given it to you. Yeah? He'd have given it to you. So here's what I'm going to say. Talk to the person who invited you. Say to them, I want to hear a little bit more about this Jenny Star thing. And by the way, even if it's not for you, that's okay. Support them. Be their friend. Be a supporting pillar for them, even if it's not for you and it's not your journey. Still support them, love them, encourage them to go on this journey because you never know that one encouragement that you give them is going to make the difference between somebody else is dying in poverty and somebody becoming good at what they do. Thank you guys so much for listening to me and sharing with me today. Bless you all. Love you loads. Thank you so much, guys.
Wow, Barbara, that was awesome. We should. I know everybody can't hear you, but man, you guys should be clapping there. Barbara, just stay up here with me if you will.
Yeah.
Man, Barbara, I've got, as Daryl would say, I got
four pages of notes.
4 pages of notes. But by the way, this is the other.
Hey guys, here you go. 100,000 million. Yeah,
there you go.
Going for the million, yeah?
So, Barbara, what I think was so cool as we wrap this up, you support compassion.
Yeah.
I love the program about the loans to the business.
Yes.
Because you're empowering people to, you're helping them to help themselves.
Absolutely.
The old saying about, you give them a fish, they got fish for a day, teach them how to fish.
Feed them for a lifetime.
That's right.
Yes.
They got a fishing business.
Absolutely.
And then I was thinking, on my drive in this morning, I had the radio on, and there was an advert about cancer research.
Yes.
And I was thinking then about what I talked about earlier about homelessness.
Yes, absolutely.
My old high school in the U.S. is just in a fundraising program, and we're helping, Margot and I have helped them out and donated to a scholarship program. And I know that everybody that's listening to this, whether you're part of Genistar or not, I want to encourage you to make up a list like that. And I love what you talked about be a change maker. Be a change maker. Be the one in your family that really and truly does make a difference.
Absolutely.
Margot's mom, she couldn't retire. She got up into her 70s, and I said, Mother, why don't you retire? She said, well, I can't afford to. Well, how much a month is it that you make? And then she told me, and I said, okay, what if I write you a check every month for that? And she said, you mean for 1 month, right? I said, no. I mean, in other words, you can retire.
Right.
And it was so cute because she said, well, we'll kind of try it. So I started sending her a check, and after about 3 months, she's like, I'm done working. And now she's up into her mid 80s, and it's just wonderful to be able to see that she doesn't have to do that.
Absolutely.
And it really is about what we can do for others. I remember, all the foster families that I grew up in. I know you read this in my book.
Yes.
Where one of the foster families that did so much for me, I went back and bought my foster mother a car.
Yes.
It meant so much to her. They were about to lose their house. I paid off the mortgage.
Yeah.
And this is not a pat Jeff or Barbara on the back type thing, but this is saying, guys, you can become the go-to person in your family, and you can't do it with just a regular job.
True. Very true. Very
And
true.
so I love the fact that, you know, we are determined to create a minimum, and I'd probably set the goal too low of 1,000 millionaires.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I got a feeling, Barbara, you're going to be, you know, you're going to be right in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, you know, thank you all so much for joining us today. I know that we've had a few glitches with sound and everything else. This is our very first time that we have done this in our studio. I think that our field support center team, communications team, and backup from David, Harvey, and from Michael Priestman, and from Sophie Rosen. Okay, yeah, Rosen, just like rowing with both oars. I love it. Okay, and then Jerry Kurd came in to us. So let's give them all a big round of applause, and thank you guys for doing a great job. And then I wanted to mention we have 19 days, Barbara, to month end.
Absolutely.
October 6th to wrap up the third quarter.
Yeah.
And the 70-pound IBA fee, normally it's 140.
Yeah.
We've reduced that down.
Yeah.
By the way, that still cost us
I know,
140,
and I want to thank
the
you
company.
for that. Yeah.
Okay, so every single recruit cost us 70 pounds. But why are we doing that? Because we want to create momentum, and we want to help people to go get promotions in motion. And then the Jenna Spa.
Yep, looking forward to that.
We've got loads of people that are on pace, whether it's the full one personal 9x9 or 5x5 over that 90-day period. You got till October the 6th. And then as I was listening to you and to Joyce and Charmaine and Dolly, I thought, you know, our company does not have a gender pay gap, do we?
So true.
Doesn't matter what your age is, your color, your sex. None of that stuff matters.
So true.
It really is about desire. As I heard all of your stories, and the men as well as the women, it really is about wanting to be somebody.
Absolutely.
And about desire to really just kind of go reach your goals and dreams.
Yeah.
And so I just want to thank all of you for joining us today, whether you joined us live or whether you're listening to the recording. And I want to tell you that the Genistar guys were really this is kind of our warm-up act the last 14 years.
True.
And I think that now we've got the foundation in place. We're getting ready to go do great things. Have a fabulous rest of the day.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you again
Bye.
for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you.